see how these two rosters stack up against one another, just in the pure realm of fragging power. Because to be honest with you, I mean, I could speak to the history maybe of some of these players on these teams to some extent, but I think for a lot of people in the community, this is going to be the first, eyes-on scenario that you've got for maybe East Coast, but certainly for DHBK, at least recently.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm already a little upset with Harmon there. He hovered.
Why?
He teased me, man. He was floating the Yoru the entire time.
Oh, come on, Doug. I told you this in the pregame, man. This
Listen,
guy's a Sova savant.
Listen,
okay?
man.
He's not going to bust out a Yoru on a game like this.
I just want to go on record and say the last time you and I had this conversation around Yoru, you were saying, there's no way, bro. Why would they do that? That makes no sense. And then your boy was right. That's all I'm saying.
I think it was Shanks, right?
Yep.
He was listening somewhere, and he's like, oh, God.
This Lex guy.
Talking about. I'm picking Yoru, man. And you know what? I looked dumb. There's no other way to put it. But I'm not looking dumb here because, like I said, Harmon, one of the better Sovas that I've seen playing the game. And you asked me about his background. I'd be talking about League of Legends, man, which I don't know anything about. So first FPS game for him, and he's now battling for a closed qualifier spot alongside Dimsum, Ange, Anderson, and Screwface, who may become household names someday, but it starts right here against Beast Coast Map 1 on Ascent. Doug, let's go.
It's going to start here on Ascent. It's going to start in the first round, and it's going to start on B. As you see the Paranoia come out. No dashes yet. There it is. He's going to dash into his Cloudburst. Tig trying to push him back, but it seems like for now, DHBK have managed to get onto the site. Screwface, one of the many members that are funneling on, and they have, I mean, Lex, they have full scent here. There's nobody staying back, nobody watching a lurk. They're all on the site.
Yeah, you have two players flanked in B main already. This is a full envelopment from Beast Coast. DHBK need to hold fast. Frenzy shots being exchanged for market. A little bit of damage traded, but Decomp, despite some spam, is holding with his teammates, waiting for probably an arrow to arrive. There it is. Here it comes.
Screwface drops. Stimson drops as well. Gosh, Beast Coast just mow him down, right? Anderson able to get one, but Decomp equalizes things and brings one player left for DHBK, and he's not going to be around for long. Beast Coast get the defuse, and they get the pistol.
Yeah, Beast Coast with a beautiful retake. It was decisive. They didn't wait around. You know, they quickly took mid control, wrapped the flank on DHBK, and as you pointed out, all 5 players were on site. It was just a matter of waiting for that recon bolt to come back up. Right. There it was. You just had a flooding of green as Beast Coast pushed their way in, and there wasn't really one kill, right?
Yep.
So they're opting to go for a buy into this round, Doug, and it's 4 sheriffs and a bucket.
Yeah, and like when you funnel everything onto the site, you give them a whole lot of room to work with on the retake there, and again, we saw it play out there where they only got 1 kill. So very well played by Beast Coast on the retake. DHBK managed to get onto the site, get the spike down. That was about as far as they got. Now we'll see here. You mentioned they bought up a little bit. They ain't coming into this with nothing. But what they had in the element of surprise is now gone as a couple of members are spotted.
I think that's all they needed to do, right? If you're looking to mess with or disjoint the rotations from Beast Coast, you show them that you have a main, and actually, as I say that, they're moving back into position for an A split. It'll come down to some Sheriff Inspector duels. As I say that, the leader comes out. Arena on DHBK. Kohler drops out of heaven. Finds one onto Harmon at A main. Anderson answers back. 4's all now.
Anderson, as you said, equalizing things here. See Screwface still with that Bucky. Trying to blindly fire through the Phoenix wall. As Decomp has that curve already. Flashes out, jumps down, is able to hit one. Looking for a second one as well. That flash is good, but the kills are not. As Dimsum and Anderson are able to keep back members of Beast Coast. Just 1 left on the side of the defenders. And it's Jamie's. You mentioned, Lex, at the beginning that they bought up. And well, so far, so good. Jamie's just down to 40 health left here in a 1v3. He's going to drop to the Bucky. What else but the Bucky as DHBK knot us up at 1 apiece.
I shouldn't get this excited this early on in a game, but the fact is There was a really good call from DHBK. I mean, they bought up and they didn't show it. I mean, they showed presence, right? But they didn't display SMGs. They didn't show that they had armor in any way. And I think Kohler, you know, making that play, he pops his one way, the double stack cage at heaven, falls out onto the green stacks at sight and gets the first frag. But I think he underestimated just how much it was going to take in the way of Spectre shot to down a full armored Sheriff player. But he just gets traded out. The A site gets yielded, and they hold. Hold strong on the post plan. It's an understatement. They had like 3 guys alive, but now it's 1-1. East Coast on the back foot.
Now, Decop here, you saw him take some space early on, but the thing is, if you continue this path, you're going to be met with a buggy. So you've got to be careful. Curveballs there. Oh, so good, and that he flashed everyone, but he didn't take anyone with him. Dim Sum takes him out. They're going to funnel onto the site. You see the jet dash over. Jamie's in a good spot. Jamie's is left entirely unchecked. Nobody even looks at him. Dim Sum, however, with 3. As it drops things to a 2v2. DHBK has both members certainly weak. BC does as well. But much like we saw in the opening round, DHBK have gotten onto the site. They're hunkered down, and they're going to get the spike down. Now, it's going to be on Beast Coast to try to take things back. The lockdown's going to be used by Dim Sum, and it looks like Beast Coast just want to go for it, right? You've got 8 seconds to make a move. Dim Sum has the lockdown destroyed, but he's on the flank. He's already got 4, looking for the ace, and Kohler's on the other side. Kohler playing this slowly. Oh, but Dim Sum's got the shot. Give him the ace, baby. Dim Sum gets 5.
Oh my goodness. Okay, maybe I'm right to get excited this early in the game, Doug, because right away you see a great play, a little bait and switch from Decop. He presses towards B main. He's like, hey, I'm pushing. I'm a defender. Free bomb site behind me. And immediately DHBK floods in. Right, and look at all the damage he does here. First of all, that's incredible. But right away, I mean, the frags all go the way of Beast Coast, and it's Dim Sum in heroics. Round 3 in the game with a spike planted, coming away with an ace. Yes, it's an eco ace, quote unquote, but that really looked like it was Beast Coast's round. They certainly had earned it. Dim Sum yoinks it away. 2-1 now, DHBK. They were here to play, Doug.
They are indeed. They look good. 1 round lead on the attack for Ascent. And we'll see him take a couple of a bit of mid control here, right? There's that tripwire from Kohler, but for now they've managed to get up a decent amount without really having to show anything.
Yeah, and I think being this confident at mid, clearing that trip out earlier is going to create some anxiety for BC, but DHBK treading carefully, especially considering the way the last round went. I think breaking that trip, maybe dropping that dark cover deep towards defender spawn might yield a rotate, but that Al drone and all the information over here towards Catwalk, even grabs a tag on his way in. Decop, run it back coming through from heaven, but he gets dispatched with quickly. Just Jammies now at A.
Gets tagged up. 30 seconds left. Armin, oh no, oh no. Certainly not what you want to be doing there, DHBK. Down to 2 members left. They still have a chance at this thing as they're going to drop things down to a 2v2. DHBK, what?
I called him a Sova Savant in the pregame, and I just watched him shock dart his teammate. Feels bad. But 2 Bulldog frags and a classic kill to close it out. DHBK hold fast, Doug, and you know I think this is why it's you know increasing my heart rate as these rounds pass on, because not only are we seeing Beast Coast with some I would call it good decisions and smart play, but they're being answered back by really superior play to even that from DHBK, where we kind of wrote them in as, okay, listen guys, chat, fans at home, viewers watching, this is a brand new roster. Can't expect that much out of them, but right away, they are raising some eyebrows, at least from this caster's perspective. All right, 3-1 now against Beast Coast, and it's attacker side Ascent too.
Yep. Well, and that's it. That's been the fun thing of watching this DHBK squad is really the Cinderella run. Jammies! Okay. Screwface dash all the way in, got up and close and personal, was able to take him out. B-Dog with the Bucky takes care of Screwface. BC with the numbers advantage. DHBK have not committed to the site. They do still have the spike. It's not sitting in a behind enemy lines or anything like that. But Tig clearing things out, decent understanding of where they might not be, and because of that, they might try to push aggressively here. Oh, the swap surely. Yep, there's the swing. B-Dog gets one. Tig gets the second. A thrifty round win for BC as they reduce the gap to 1.
Let's go, man. BEASTCOAST answer right back. The Owl drone gets popped from the Sova at A main, and it does not clear wine. Jammies comes away with 2 in a position with he otherwise would have been cleared.
Yep.
That Blade Storm comes in huge. The Bucky for B-Dog where, Doug, why do they call him B-Dog again? Is that what the B stands for?
B stands for Bucky, baby.
It comes in big there and closes it out at the end with a Phantom in hand, and now it's 3-2. BEASTCOAST have answered back, and a broken by a bit, at least, from DHBK. Big. Anxious to etch away some HP off of the attackers on the other side of that B main wall. Doesn't get that much done, actually. Thought it was a perfect lineup. Not quite. But right away, you see DHBK resetting themselves, saying, okay, you got the Odin, relax, everybody back up. Walk forward again. Aldrin will spot him out here, but he hits underway, maybe?
What do you see? Did he only see one? All right, that's everything. Gigs up. They know where they are. You see the Lear come out, the smoke, to try to keep things back as BC slowly starts to rotate over. The 100 Fury is going to be used. Decop may be in some trouble here as Harmon. Nah, it's good. Good enough for a tag, I believe, and that was it. Still a 5v5 here.
And what's tough is you really haven't taken a whole lot of map control. You see Anders up here at Pizza, but Jammies might be wise to it already. At least he knows the potential's there behind the trip.
Kohler may see
So, tough there for Harmony calls Jammies, and despite Anders' position now, this isn't really, this isn't a fight that you want to go taking. 20 seconds left, not a whole lot that they have on the table to take.
No, it looks like they're going to go right back where they started, towards B. And at this point, when you've got such little time left, you've got to go. There's no time to be methodical. There's no time to be slow about things. You just kind of have to full send there, and it's going great for BC as Jammies gets 3. He's going to keep the op into the next round. BC tie us up.
I think that's not only just a resurgence in the past few rounds from BEASTCOAST, but Jammies has now dealt the blows necessary to make DHBK respect the fact that there's now an operator in play. I mean, as long as he's alive and still holding on to that thing, there is absolutely the terror now struck into the hearts of DHBK, where you might have gotten away with it a few times of being able to take some bear peeks towards mid and B main, but that threat will not just go away without dispatching some utility first. So early Owl drone up mid already, and this is the same space that they've tried to take the past few rounds successfully, and already we see several sheriffs mounting up towards Pizza, Doug.
Well, they take it. All right, and it hasn't been that DHBK haven't been able to get onto the site, right? Like, they get onto B, they plant the spike, but BEASTCOAST has been able to respond very well here. The tripwire goes down. You see both members of BC immediately, as soon as that trapwire goes down, like, retreat further back into Boathouse. Once again, they're going to have to be the anchors. Anderson with the paranoia. Blueface dashes in. Oh, no, he missed. He missed. Oh, my gosh, he missed. Tig gets 2. Anderson gets 1 to trade it out, but they hold fast. They anchor down the site from Boathouse. BC plays that beautifully.
My gosh, that looked so good from DHBK. You see the paranoia, you see the tailwind into sight, and as you said, that Bucky does not get it done for Screwface. He gets what I would say is robbed, and Tig set up in a perfect crossfire with Kohler. Kohler will fall, but 4 frags go his way. That Odin is now also gonna need the deserved respect from DHBK and BC. Really recovering from what I would only describe as a shaky start. 3 straight for them, and economy is booming. You're going to have to deal with a full buy from DHBK in this round, but no worries. It seems like everyone's feeling good now in BC. Already, actually, as I say that, not only feeling good, but good enough to take a early mid peak here at Jammies and teammates in tow, so no mid control for DHBK.
Oh, just narrowly missing. Looked like they were trying to clear out that tripwire, but it was a little bit further up. The tripwire was, and the shock dart doesn't connect. And look at how far up BC have already taken that area of the map. DHBK have tried hitting it. You already see some really nice adjustments from Beast Coast on the defending side as they remove that from the fold.
Yeah, I think DHBK is almost expecting this play from decomp where, oh my goodness, as I say that, Harmon just walked away.
Yeah,
this is huge.
Decop. If they turn around, Decop knows. Now the footsteps, certainly that's giving it away. Tig's gonna be there. Decop gets one. Tig gets the second one as well. The spike goes down, the curveball goes out. As Decop looking for the last one that should be there. The Hunter Fury is gonna be used from Tig to try to tag him up, and it's actually the molly from Decop of all things that takes care of Screwface and seals his fate. Kohler's gonna drop as well. One left on the side of DHBK, and it's Dim Sum. The 1v4, 13 seconds left. Baby, you gotta go if you're gonna do it. Looks like he's just gotta try to save the weapon into the next round. Well played by Beast Coast, man. The adaptation was there, right? Well, actually, hang on, sorry. All right, the adaptation was there, right? We talked about how DHBK was exposing the middle of the map. It was just a tripwire, and they knew where the tripwire was. So you see Harmon with the adjustment to try to clear the tripwire with the shock dart, but not only does the tripwire move from its location originally, but they also invest people there. BC looking good, man.
Yeah, and that was a big play from Decop. I mean, obviously, but a hot flank turns into a hot hand situation over there at A main. I don't know what happened, whether or not that Hail Mary that he tossed into sight. Oh, Sheriff frag on the Tig immediately. That is a wall bang, wall back. Odin falls, and now it's a 5-on-4 very quickly in this light 5 from DHBK, but they're already rallying back towards the A side of things. Dim Sum holding onto this Vandal from the previous round. May be able to at least get an off-angle frag, you know, here at Catwalk, maybe take a duel of his own, but he's going to bide his time for his teammates over here at A main.
Jamie's with one, dashes away. He's going to get tagged up. Oh, Screwface with the Bucky again, man. Jamie's drops. Dim Sum with the Vandal. He's going to take care of Kohler and is going to drop BC down to 2 members left. This was a mixed buy for DHBK, if I'm not mistaken. And the Hunter's Fury is online now for DHBK. They're looking good here in this round.
Yeah, and that is just such an unfortunate dink onto Jammies. He was left with 10 HP over at that A main retreat. And now it's just B-Dog in a 1v4 with the spike going down. There is, well, dare I say no shot, but
gutsy.
Really, not going to be a decision that he's going to make. Yeah.
No, and
back up.
Well, go ahead. Sorry, finish that thought.
I was just going to back up and perhaps hold for some exits. That's all. There's one.
You saw the. Well.
There's two.
You saw the impact of James. So James gets that opening op pick. Dope, right? He retreats away, he eventually drops, and that op went into the hands of Screwface, and he, with that op that he had taken from James, was able to anchor things down up in heaven, create some room to get onto the site. We often track, which player has the op at the beginning of the round, but one of the things we don't, in my opinion, we don't talk about enough is the residual impact, right? Like the ripples that come from an op being lost.
Can be just as dangerous as having one used against you from the get-go, yeah. And certainly when you expect a team to be on an eco, handing them, FedExing them, UPSing them a operator, as Jammies may have done inadvertently from his play. Sometimes he worked against you. And Anderson is coming through market with warp speed, finds one under Decop. We had no idea that was even a possibility. Tig, such a threat back in this B site. Time and again, but Harmon answers back with one of his own. Sova on Sova, that's a headshot. 4-on-3 now, Doug. Minute spare, but hands at this off angle. Actually getting the better of from Kohler. There's that aim that you were talking about earlier. And finally, the spike will go down.
Once again, B is where they like to play. Screwface gonna dash his way in. They're gonna get the spike down. BC have 3. They also have a blade sword. Oh, Screwface winning that op battle. Screwface good for 2, rips Kohler's face off. As there's just B-Dog left. He's got an op of his own, but you wonder if you save it here.
I got to imagine. I mean, clutching with an op is difficult enough as it is. That's like, 101 things that you want to do here. It's a juicy save opportunity. Might as well take it. And Jammies has been coming up big for his team so far, so no doubt about it. He turns tail and runs. Hopes to fight another day, and then in the next round, it'll be 5-all. DHBK answering back in a decisive way, and I got to commend both teams now. This is a back and forth affair where individual skills are shining, and certainly there's initiative being taken. Some Bucky and Odin work so far, some operator frags. We're getting a nice variety, spice of life here when it comes to the fragging methods of both teams. But not quite broken as the economy of Beast Coast. We'll take perhaps one more round before you get an operator firmly out of the hands of Jammies. But on the flip side of things, Doug, get a nice bit of a bank building up on the attack side of Spent. Attack side of Spent. Of a cent.
Nailed it.
Almost. 2 rounds left. You've confirmed your own buys for the duration, so quickly now DHBK grabbing some mid control, not getting met with any resistance.
No, well, and
Paranoia
again,
back mid though.
well, so they've got the camera spots, then they can paranoia and swing, right? We'll see if they do it. The camera got cleared out. I don't know if it spotted anyone, but you heard the rent it back was used from Beast Coast. Didn't net much of anything. And as they threatened, DHBK did threaten them to take control across the middle. Nothing was doing. They retreat back as it looks like they want to go towards A.
Yeah, and that Aldrun will spot one player over towards Catwalk. No more, but you got to imagine that's enough information to at least make that threat very real. And Tig, E-Cop over here at this tree position, due to make contact here in the coming seconds as this cat split comes underway.
Standing ahead.
All right, here we go. Darts coming through. Nothing doing quite yet. Tig understanding there's somebody pushing through. Screwface is trying to work his way in. It's E-Cop with the curveball, but no, it doesn't matter. Screwface and Dimsum get a couple as Screwface takes care of Tig as well. He's got the op. They're going to have full A control. BC very quickly fall apart as they only have 2 left in the round.
Yeah, and again, we talked about the economy kind of being rough for Beast Coast here. So when a 2-on-5, I'm sure they have a teammate in their ear that's like, might want to save here, guys, because, there's not a whole lot they're going to be able to work with in the final round. You've only got 5 on the board. Wise decision here, I think, from Beast Coast to back it up. And Screwface, man, he has had several times throughout this attack side really open things up for the team, and not just finding the entries, doing it in really awkward, unconventional ways. Thought about the Bucky round a few rounds prior where got an operator out of the hands of Beast Coast, and he's gotten his Blade Storm going. He found 2 whilst blinded by a curveball. That tree hold could have easily blown up in their faces off of a big play from D-Cop, and instead, they've claimed 6 so far. They're, in all likelihood, confident as ever that they're going to grab this 7th. For Beast Coast, you hope, you've invested in the operator, and actually they have a fairly respectable buy despite the picture I may have just painted.
Well,
so,
they
have light armor.
Yeah, the light armor doesn't feel good, but we'll see. We'll see how they play this out. Again, as you mentioned, final round of the first half. A couple of key ultimates. Keep an eye on Harmon's Hunter's Fury. Choose it to clear some space or potentially hold it for the post plant. But for DHBK, I want really the narrative of this half has been the fight for mid control and what they can do to expose it afterwards. And you've seen Kohler switch things up a bit. First a tripwire, then it's moved, then there was no tripwire, but there was a camera there, and they set up a crossfire. Now, all they have is that cam. There's no crossfire there. I mean, DHBK, man, they could be in a good spot. Jamie's once again, same look that we saw a couple of rounds ago pay off. This time, he stays alive.
Ange has tried to take this dry peek a few times. I wish he would have just thrown a jiggle, but Jammy's, obviously he finds success there often. He's played there a few times. And this from the shadows to switch, closing the door quickly means B-Dog, Tig on site are alone and outnumbered, and suddenly they're surrounded and overtaken. 4-on-2 retake for Beast Coast here, Doug.
Very different from where we've seen them anchor down the site by themselves in Boathouse. This time they fall apart. But much like we saw previously, and much like we've seen DHBK like to do, they funnel everything onto that site, right? They're fully sent in there. There's 100 Fury by Harmon. May have gotten a little something, but not much. Right, Clear's gonna clear out. Storm, Screwface with the Judge. One, Screwface with the Judge, looking for the second. The paranoia's there, but it's Anderson who gets it a 3K as DHBK get to 7 at half.
Impressive first half here from DHBK, where, you know, I sure have talked them up as being, you know, the week-old roster. Now I'm going to start tagging Wonder on the front of that, the week-old Wonder roster, because these guys are playing so well together. Honestly, it's impressive to see, just, you know, on such short notice, short term, I guess, how they're able to, you know, at least for this half, outclass the likes of Beast Coast, where they've already established themselves in the scene to a degree, and you almost expect that they'll at least make this a very competitive second half. But we'll see now as the pistol seems to be leaning towards potentially like mid control, something along here for Beast Coast. 3 players out mid quickly, maybe a B split.
It looks like there's not going to be anyone home. They're going to drop the smoke. No information gained from the defender side, middle of the map. They're going to get on to B, and B is entirely unattended. I mean, they can pitch a tent, take their dang sweet time, too, before they make anything happen. Meanwhile, elsewhere on the map, Kohler with a big pick early on. Looking to see if he can get a second one across the middle as well, as Ange now makes his way onto the site. BC funnel everything in, and Harmon shows up. So far, so good. Dimson looking for a second one as well, but it's Ange with the second. For him, as Decop trades one out. 3v2, make that a... Yeah, 3v2, excuse me, in favor of DHBK. Decop drops. B-Dog drops, excuse me. Dimson goes big. DHBK win the pistol.
And honestly, it really... There was a few different fights there where really awkward, just maybe a moment, a step, one direction or the other. Could have net decaught those kills, doesn't come his way, and instead DHBK, who just had, you know, a dominant first half, I'd say, for an attack side ascent, coming away with a pistol. And not only do they have to be feeling good here, but for Beast Coast, I mean, you're gonna have to save what you can, maybe grab some sheriffs, look for some feel-good frags, keep the economy in check, DHBK if you can, but ultimately, this will be a defensive anti-eco that, well, another fast market split coming out here from Beast Coast.
Oh, I wanted to see if Screwface would get anything. He was one. He had a little something. Anderson with the swing. Beautiful. As it's down to Kohler with the Sheriff, which certainly means that nothing is a done deal. But he's going to get a chance at making something happen. He's got one.
Enemy down.
He's got 2. Still a pretty long road ahead of him, though. As Anderson drops, he's not... I mean, he doesn't have the spike either. It's really... It's going to be about fragging out at this point. He doesn't really have a chance to do much else. He's going to drop. Dimson takes care of him from behind. DHBK win the second round of the half.
And I believe they had 3 players live.
Yep.
Perhaps 4?
3.
Yeah, 3.
Yep.
So, the importance of that is just... Don't have to rebuy a ton coming into this next round. Maybe grab a pistol. Yeah, they're just going to bonus it.
Yep.
And keep their economy steadfast. Invest minimal amount into this round so that any damage that they do towards Beast Coast comes up in dividends. And ultimately, I mean, that was just kind of a toss away around for Beast Coast. And the fact that Kohler got 2 is admirable. Those are some nice sheriff shots, which I believe he's known for at this point.
Yep.
Right out the gate, East Coast taking some main control and aren't contested much on it. So this Dim Sum Spectre here is going to catch the first contact from the Owl drone. He'll drop it. Paranoia comes through. Yeah, executes underway, Doug.
Yeah, but you got to be careful pistol. I believe, yeah, it's Anderson who's just sitting on the site. Anderson gets one, Harmon gets one as well. And they can no longer funnel onto the site. It's not an option. Beast Coast have to respect that, and they have to back up. Kohler's made his way up towards Cat. Maybe make something happen. In tree one, he drops as well. You mentioned this was the bonus, and this is going very well for DHBK here.
Yeah, and I called it an A execute, but it really seemed like East Coast just said the magic word and players started running out. It wasn't even necessarily a cohesive push, it seemed like. And of course, they were delayed by paranoia, you know, other utility, I'm sure. But really, this has been all DHBK in this round. And you've got some Vandals still.
30 seconds left.
The question is, do you try and save these? Or do you protect the weapons that are down? Because 20 seconds left, there's not a whole lot you can hope to do here.
Well, okay.
Down.
Tig gets one.
10
A
seconds
3v2
left.
here. Looks like they're going to be able to get this fight done. D-Dog has to get this pick. Nope, Dimson gets it. Tig alone here, clearing out every corner he possibly can. Harmon with 3 on the round. They're going to get the defuse as well. A 5-round lead. Finances to the moon. They're sitting pretty here.
To the moon. 10-5 now. Yeah, sitting pretty is a 5-round cushion. Let's check the finances here in a sec. And yeah, nearing the potential of maxing out at 9K. You've got a Hunter's Fury on board. You're not too far off from a lockdown of your own. And you've just forced East Coast back onto a Sheriff Armor buy where, you know, despite some Kohler heroics trying to get some Sheriff kills in the rounds prior, you don't really... Like, we've seen a couple rushes when they're on pistols, Doug, but... I hate to be the naysayer now, but I wonder if they have anything at all,
Standing ahead.
at least in the way of reads and in perhaps strats, something else to pull out on the attack side of Split to crack the defense of DHBK, where they look already comfortable, they look already in set, you know, call it comfort, whatever you will. The momentum's at their backs.
Yep.
They're feeling good.
Yeah, and I think it's even telling Screwface, he's got money, right? There's no shortage of money there, and he chose to bring a Bucky into this round.
Frugal.
Yeah, I guess. BC get onto the site. The Hunter's Fury from Harmon's going to be used there. He tagged up one, looking to see if he can land the death blow. Nothing doing quite yet. East Coast, they've gotten on there in a decent spot, but DHBK again are creeping up as well, and through all of the gunfire that's happened, now players are starting to drop. Harmon gets one, Kohler trades it out. There's the Bucky that we were talking about. Screwface getting up close and personal, taking his lunch money, and getting a second one with the Bucky. DHBK rips them apart. Beast Coast, yes, they didn't have guns to work with, but DHBK, man, they're playing with swagger.
Man, didn't I describe to you Harmon's play as being, and I don't want to seem disrespectful to anyone, I mean this is a compliment, but gross, right? Like, you know, from A Heaven, he's collected, I think, 3 Ares frags and now 2 or 3 Odin kills. Sova is so dangerous when you know your spam spots and you know your dart lineups and you can pair it up with, I don't know, a tailwinding jet with a Bucky in hand to go clear sight. I was giggling through that entire retake because it was just absurd, the kills that they were getting. And oh man, DHBK 11-5. Now Beast Coast look firmly routed. And I don't mean to say that this game's over yet. It definitely is not. We're back on a bye for BC, but there's no leeway being given here by DHBK. And right away we're on 6 HP for Kohler.
Read him like a book. Kohler has to back up. Beast Coast have to back up and potentially turn their attention over towards A. Again, a very impressive map from DHBK so far. It's not a frowny face, a stoic face. Certainly it's all smiles, at least for the time being. You hear the run back has been used. Ange has to respect it, right? He has to back up. He's going to take some damage there. Screwface with the op, able to take care of Tig, dash away to safety, and keep it to fight another day. For now, you see DHBK starting to rotate over on the map as BC have gotten onto A, but Anderson on the flank can go absolutely huge. You see him teeing it up. There's... Do it, man. There it is. There it is. Jamies goes there. Screwface gets one, however. And Jamie's looking for a bit more. He's going to have a chance at it, but he's going to get pushed back. Anderson on the flank gets the final one, and then Screwface with 3. With that Blade Storm there at the end, DHBK. I like, match point. BC has no money, if I'm not mistaken. This does not look good for Beast Coast.
Yeah, and I'd be remiss if I didn't recall just, you know, during the pregame show, I think you and I were both spelling the impressed look on my face, at least when I saw, you know, BBG and Space Station Gaming both respectively getting upset by this DHBK roster. Well, now we get to see it in HD, where, you know, everything seems to be going right for them, but all of their ducks are in a row, I guess. You have all of these situations seemingly thought through and taken care of, and already East Coast angry about how things have gone so far. Up for a fast B play. Screwface has a judge in hand. E-Cop clears him out after 1, but now it's a 4-on-4, Doug.
100 Fury was used as well. You see Anderson on the flank. There's going to be some utility to get through, but see if he can make a play happen. He's actually going to have to back up. East Coast have gotten onto the site, drop things down to a 2v2, but he is going to drop. It's just Harmon here. Or excuse me, it's just Tig on the attacking side. He's got a judge. He had a judge. But he also doesn't have much of secrecy of positioning. He's gonna drop. So well played by DHBK, bro. It was a complete performance from them. They look good on defense. They look good on attack. They play the map well. DHBK are proving that they should not be taken lightly.
And man, I mean, just seeing them play this well is fun to watch. You think about open qualifiers, anyone can get to this point. You know, you put the work in, you put the time in, you got the talent, you know, or something, but you want to see him consistently able to have an operator in his hands, get some economy control. Okay, a nice Sage pick.
Single duelist. Okay.
That wasn't in my notes. Nevertheless, you got to wonder whether or not, like, individually, just based on shooting, Doug, whether Beast Coast can match the talent, you know, displayed by DHBK in the last map. But I don't think there's room for that kind of talk just yet. We got a lot more Valorant here left to play, and I think beyond what we're talking about in terms of just one player on Beast Coast as a whole, I think I'd like to see them playing together better. I don't know. What about you, Doug? What do you think?
No, I think you're right. I think you're hitting the nail on the head. I want to see Jamies, especially on Icebox, pop off, right? How many times have we seen defense, attack, it doesn't matter. A Jet, an operator in the hands of a Jet, specifically on this map, can really change the tide of how things pan out. So I want to keep a close eye on that. I'm also interested to see the single duelist composition here. Only going to have the Jet and go for they're going to have a smokes, obviously the lockdown and all the utility that comes from Killjoy. But then Sage has been so popular on this map, Sova as well. So I'm excited to see how that pans out. And for the side of DHBK, you still got a lot of spice, baby. You still got a lot of flavor. You've got Reyna and Jet, who are going to be popping off, or presumably will be, and then Dim Sum, who started off at one point he was top fragging, and it wasn't just after the ace, right? Like, it was an ace round 2 or 3, so obviously he would have been top fragging. But for well into the map, he was the one who was leading the scoreboard, and it's not like he finished the game off quietly either. I think he was 16-8, right? So keep a close eye on Dim Sum. If you're BC, Jamies, I need Jamies to pop off here.
Yeah, maybe a fast early A play here for Beast Coast. All 5 players, many of which are taking the long way around. Few up top on Belt, but Ange here, a close A main. Here's that Owl Drone get pop. Yields the ground. Gives way, and Beast Coast thinks twice.
Yeah,
and it's interesting, Doug, before I hand it over to you, I have one thing to say, which is, you mentioned the one duelist comp, a nice duel being won by Screwface. That worked earlier today for another team.
Yep.
T1. See whether or not that becomes a continuing trend.
Well, I want to see. So that dart. All right, hang on. Hang on here. There's no wall. Anderson. Anderson. Oh, he went under the tube.
Found them.
I thought for sure he was going to go up behind him. All right, Dimsum is going to have some info. He's going to have a really good idea of where they are, and he's going to get a chance. One. Looking for the second. Not. Oh, I didn't even see it. Doesn't matter. Beast Coast just down to one. Decop by himself. He's going to try to heal himself up. Manages to get that pick onto Dimsum. And is now, I mean, still in a brutal spot. Screwface lands the final shots to take care of him. DHBK pick up right where they left off by winning the pistol.
They're just highlighting the merits of Dim Sum. I mean, basically the Lone Ranger over here towards the B side of the map entirely. Okay, check out the mini-map right now.
Boom.
And this off angle he plays just by the skin of his teeth, doesn't get spotted in that position, finds two. And those are two huge kills that end up basically winning the pistol essentially for DHBK, where East Coast had found the opening, had found the entry, and maybe even found the site had they won that duel. Instead, Dim Sum, once again early on in this game, doing big work for DHBK. And early dart towards green over here at long B pushes back DHBK, and I don't even think East Coast is still being very careful. They're not even quite sure it's all clear yet, but they're taking their time with it.
Right, wisely. Just you know, double checking, crossing your T's, dotting your I's, making sure there's nothing else there. The thing is, Dim Sum did place some utility there, and it's a little bit further back, but there is some utility, and he's got Harmon
Right here.
with the Marshall on the cross just in case. Pretty good spot. You already see, really, BC they're fully investing here. They've taken their way at B long. They've got a couple of other members funneling their way forward. Anderson here, Harmon managed to get one with that Marshall through the smoke, I believe, and then Anderson and Dim Sum. I mean, East Coast has ripped to shreds here.
Still rocking the slimy Boogerman tag. Anderson cleaning up with 3. That is one thing that I will note. Just a caster's note here. I realize there's a month cooldown on the renaming, but maybe a new team name in store for DHBK, a new sweet tag. Unify the squad after this, guys. But, you know, still on the other side, you don't have Kohler and Decop tagged up either, but...
Well, and look, man, they keep playing like this. There's certainly potential for that in the future. They're looking good. They're up 2-0 here, and they're going to ride a bonus into this next round, right? East Coast fully buys up. They've got guns and armor. Meanwhile, DHBK really going with what was tried and true. They didn't change anything, and after a flawless round from a financial perspective, it makes sense to play it out this way.
And Dim Sum puts that turret over there towards long B. It takes contact, gets the information out that there are members from Beast Coast on approach. And that orb, Decop just one away from a resurrection, but no ultimates on the board just yet for either team. And as you mentioned, this bonus here, gonna slowly inch their way towards B. Tig, rocking the Sakura Vandal, a personal favorite of mine, is gonna take the initiative.
It is a good
but they do hold here. And I mean, this is kind of becoming what I think more and more teams are latching onto. Look at this lurk from Kohler. I don't even call it just this info that Kohler's getting.
Right. And you saw the dart come out. Kohler shot it out. I thought they might rotate over, but Beast Coast, excuse me, have fully committed to B. They're going to get onto the site. Decop gets the spike down, and now DHBK scurry over back to B to try to fight for this retake. It's going to be a 5-on-5. Remember, DHBK are rocking a bonus here, so gun advantage should technically be in favor of Beast Coast. Harmon with the Marshall, same spot we saw him here last time, was absolutely filthy. Looking to see if he can replicate that success. James goes first. Oh, what a good spot. Anderson able to get one. James trades it out, however, as Anderson is still alive with the Spectre, gets a second one on the round as the clock continues to tick away. Harmon with the Marshall, but it's dropping down to just Harmon. In a 1v2. Oh my gosh! Are you kidding me? Harmon, you're insane!
Oh my goodness.
Not even close.
Not even close, Doug. 0.49, no sweat for the league player. Harmon collecting 3 on the round, and yeah, I was about to sing the praises of B-Dog, who had just made a firm defense there at the corner of yellow, finding 2 of his own, and then snatched away from the ghost of Harmon. Wow, 3 rounds already for DHBK, and you I can't even sit here and try and dissect any mistakes coming out from Beast Coast. This is just exceptional individual and team performance coming out from DHBK in a way where they're it's almost seemingly like they could do no wrong,
Get
Doug.
out of my way.
As soon as they make
Nice
a
op shot.
mistake, yeah, I mean, he
Yeah.
even takes damage on it. He still
Yep,
gets
he's
the
down to
frag.
5 HP, man. It wasn't just like he didn't just get like grazed. He got messed up.
You gotta think like if you're on the receiving end of that, it's like you wish you had just gotten the kill. Like everything in your body is just like, no
Right,
way.
That feels bad.
Just
Yeah.
got robbed.
Yeah, that feels bad.
That's what you get for not buying a Vandal, I guess.
Beast Coast. Yeah, I don't. I'm sure Kohler. I don't know how that didn't land because I want to say he's a Vandal player.
Here.
Anyway, Beast Coast here, financially, artillery, not a whole lot there. Jamie's opting to use the Blade Storm, and Anderson punishes him, takes care of him. Tig with the Sheriff, however, gets one. The wall goes up. DHBK gonna have to fight for this retake here, and well, this has already been.
You will not kill
I mean,
my
they're making
mother.
it expensive. It looks like they're going to try to go for it here, but the problem is that Rez was in such a brutal spot. B-Dog gets one.
Last player standing.
DHBK's just down to one. Beast Coast are doing this thing in thrifty fashion.
Somebody in chat must be spamming some pogs or dogs or whatever they are to help B-Dog because that man is coming in huge with 3 Sheriff frags. And it could not come at a better time where once again momentum seemed to be rapidly, just getting sucked away from Beast Coast and being given right to DHBK. With every good thing that happens, 2 things just seem to go wrong.
Right.
And despite that happening, a heroic effort on the receiving end of some Sheriff frags there for DHBK, B-Dog handing him out in kind. And not only do you enter this round at least with full buy and an operator on Jamie's, which talked about a few times as being incredibly important. Screwface has one of his own, so this is going to be the first full buy for both teams in the half, Doug. And already,
Well,
I think.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Dimsum. So it's interesting. DHBK has the Blade Storm, and they put the operator in the hands of Screwface. Meanwhile, Dimsum has nothing but a Sheriff. The good thing about how they played out this map up until this point is that financially they could afford to still buy even after that goes sideways almost all the way. But it's just interesting that they value the operator in the hands of Screwface so much that they'd rather have that than put another rifle in the hands of a 5th member.
Oh my goodness, and there's the op duel. Jammies comes out on top. People's advantage making its way into the game there, and Screwface loses one. Tiny plant gets put down.
Harmon. Dude, Harmon, you called him the Savant, and so far, I mean, he's absolutely delivering, living up to the namesake. Anderson going in aggressive here. Dimsum with the Sheriff that I talked about early on. I mean, he's delivering. Rifle, Sheriff doesn't seem to matter. Anderson playing the smoke. He's going to have a chance at something. Jamie's drops as Anderson gets the best of him. Kohler in the smoke does the exact same thing. Responds in kind. Kohler with the second. Dimsum with one. A 1v2 here. Kohler drops Harmon. Takes care of him, and they're going to get the defuse. A 3-round lead for DHBK here in the first half.
Wow. And even losing that opening op pick to Jammies, I mean, really impressive stuff on the retake. You get a shock dart frag, a classic first kill. I mean, what can't go right for DHBK right now? And honestly, having that level of depth in a roster this young, scary, and you can only imagine, right? There's not a ton of game fills you could have gone over if you're Beast Coast. Right. There's not a ton of research you could have done into this roster without having just faced it raw yourself, and now here we are, 4-1. By the way, Doug, whenever I cut you off like that, it's amazing how often we're about to say the same exact thing. I think that's magical. It's like if we were at LAN, we would be like, Jinx, you owe me a caster beverage or whatever every round. Here we are now. We've got a few ultimates on the board, maybe some dueling lockdowns. Actually, you got a Hunter's Fury, I expect. Beast Coast probably is going to want to save theirs.
Yep.
We'll see.
Screwface taking a bit of an aggressive position with the operator again. You see the swagger with which they're playing. Screwface somehow gets away as well. Sure, there wasn't much on the other side of that, but he manages to get the kill. and not take a lick of damage.
Just on top of their game right now. And I know I said this just probably 2 minutes ago, but it seems as though they can do no wrong. Even when something goes right for Beast Coast, and I mean that as going right for Beast Coast, not necessarily DHBK playing something perfectly. There's a lockdown, maybe to try and draw out that Hunter's Fury early. They're not biting.
Nope. Man,
Okay,
they're
as I say that.
30 seconds left.
well, you meant, I mean, the fact that they aren't investing the Hunter's Fury, that they didn't even really bite, right?
All
Like they're
over
still
B,
there.
Though. Screwface
Yeah.
retreated off of B, and now he's coming back.
There's the Hunter's Fury that we were talking about. Screwface is going to use the Blade Storm. Oh, but B-Dog behind him takes care of him. Harmon takes care of him as it shuts down to B-Top in a 1v4. 1 for more. 2. 3. Oh,
That was looking hot.
yep. That
That
was
was
looking
looking
real spicy.
Oh man, I don't even know what to analyze there. The fake actually ended up working. Yeah, you didn't draw the Hunter's Fury out. You didn't even get another lockdown out necessarily for the lockdown today. But Screwface is sitting there at the top side of the B site, staring towards green and yellow that cross towards the planner area. Is basically under full-time surveillance, and then he just kind of, all right, I'm going to back up, give this ground, go back towards kitchen, and it ends up being not only the correct decision, but accidentally the perfect move because you know, you saw Kohler, I think it was Jammies, a few players basically getting onto the site eventually and just getting shot from all directions without even realizing. East Coast already just looking stumped on the attack side here of Icebox.
Yep, and they're not going to have guns here. Again, Jamie's using the Blade Storm in an eco. That's really it. They've taken B-Long again, right? They seem to have some success, at least in getting this far. But it's everything else after that. That just seems to go a bit sideways. I think for DHBK as well, you've got a couple of bolts. Now they have a lockdown of their own that they don't have to worry about using in response to another one, and no Hunter's Fury to worry about either. Kohler's going to drop. Beast Coast just kind of getting picked apart here. And again, we mentioned they don't have much. This is the only thing they have here. And it's delivering for now. 3 Jammies. He's got 45 health here. He's going to dash away into his own Cloud Burst. As this would Jammies. Jammies already gotten 4. Jammies looking for the last one. 45 health. He's got the classic. No more blades to work with here, but he's got to go. He goes in aggressive. Jammies gets pushed back through his own Cloud Burst. 16 health. He's got to run for the fences here. There's no time for the defuse. Jammies doesn't get it. Screwface gets the kill, but Beast Coast get the round.
Man, we said it. You know, maybe it was the case a bit on Ascent in map 1 where some members of Beast Coast, in particular Jammies being one of them, coming up big with some heroics to claim a round or two, and here we are where this is basically a DHBK round. You're in a 4-on-2 in the Blade Storm. The left clicks are coming out and Jammies is sniping down range, and really I'm disappointed he didn't get the ace there because that was a clip and a half. Nice play from Jammies. He even gets himself an operator and forces the opponents who he just decimated back into the depths of an economic downturn, and pistols on board only the defenders of DHBK. And this like little default that they're doing, they're kind of leaving Kohler over, who honestly he's tried to lurk a few times in this game and been found out very quickly with no results on it. So there are elements of Beast Coast that are still not going according to plan, or even some semblance of one, but despite that, they've found themselves in a very favorable situation here, Doug.
Yeah, but they've got to strike, right? Like there's window. You don't get a ton of windows like this, especially with how the first half has gone. You've got to capitalize on the fact that DHBK don't have much for guns, and Beast Coast is sitting in a pretty spot. They're going to hit B again. See what DHBK can do to respond. Nice shot from Jamie's early on. Get the opening.
Decop trading blows with Ange at bottom site. Get better. B-Dog, an actual successful lurk now. Anderson falls. Jammies with his second. Screwface alone under 2 with it all to do, and there is nothing to come of it. B-Dog finishes him. And now, you know, we've spent a fair amount of time talking about the things that DHBK is doing right. But right there, you cleaned up an anti-eco almost flawlessly. You've got an operator on your main duelist. Like there's a few things that for Beast Coast to come back into this game, like right here, right now, this upcoming round, really should tell the story for how this half is gonna go.
Yep. Yeah, I think you're right. It's almost like a checklist, right? Like you get them in a good spot financially, but then you've got to win that round. And the thing is, it's never a done deal, right? Like we've seen insane thrifty rounds, so you've got to capitalize on that. And then, like you said, this is the last check to get back into this thing to make it competitive. Or I mean, yes, 2 out of 3, you're certainly better off than you would have been otherwise, but to really put the wind back in your sails, this is where Beast Coast they need to capitalize.
From the shadows, giving a quick A rotate from Anderson, and wonder whether or not, like, Coleridge is clearly just checked spawn. He knows that there's no omen behind him or anything therein, but everybody kind of slows down, turns around, and holds up for just a minute before this A execute from BC comes underway.
Yeah, and DHBK know where it is, right? Like, Screwface was anchoring down B long, so they knew they weren't there. The Reyna was watching middle, so they knew it had to go A, but it looks like now they're going to try to flip the map on its head. The lockdown has been used, and B-Dog is the first one there, but B-Dog's on an island right now. Kohler's going to get brought back into the fold. B-Dog needs to try to stay alive, potentially get a pick if he can, because the spike is just now making its way halfway across the map. The other thing to keep in mind is that the Jet is alone here as things have quickly turned over. Now it's Screwface, who's in a brutal spot where he's alone. He's got a knob and he's waiting for teammates to show up, but Screwface says, that's perfectly fine with me. Harmon shows up, able to take care of B-Dog, but the spike has to go down here. Cole with one, Jammies with the plan, he gets it off. Beast Coach just down to Jammies, however, as he's going to get pushed away. He's got 54 health. He doesn't have any health left. Actually, I lied to you. Harmon's going to get the defuse. DHBK are going to take a 3-round lead.
Oh, wow. That is a roller coaster of a round. DHBK, just another firm recovery. You know, there was definitely some uncomfortable scenarios being spelled out. Yep. Saw Screwface basically alone versus 5.
Well, and it was just like rewind a bit. Yeah, and rewind a bit. First, it was B-Dog who was in a brutal spot, right? He took the from the shadows and he was alone, buys enough time to stay alive, and then put Screwface in a bad spot.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, we talked how important that round was, Doug.
Yep.
Right? Like, this has been a little bit of a back and forth bout for the last 6 rounds, and now you're in a situation where economy was built up, things were good, and Anderson, Jammies, trading blows back and forth. Jammies coming out on top again.
Okay.
This duelist on the side of Beast Coast is really make or break in all of these rounds for them.
No charges
He's
left.
making it now with 2 huge entry frags.
Now, DHBK just has 1 player on the site,
Spike
and
planted.
playing patiently, playing slowly. There's 100 theory, but Jammies takes care of Ange as well. 3 on the round for him so far, as DHBK are down to scraps. Really, 2 members, both coming in from the same side, Harmon and Screwface, with a tall order in front of them. They're outnumbered. They've got to somehow get past the defenses of Beast Coast and still get the defuse. And the thing is, it's been ticking away for a little while now, so it's not like time is on their side. It looks like they're just going to save, potentially get a couple of exits on the way out. I don't think they have a play on the spike here.
Yeah, I think Screwface needs to save this operator at all costs. Gets a frag for a consolation prize, but make that 2.
Dog.
And he should survive here. So this went from being, you know, they're cognizant of the fact that they can't let him save this operator, and they fail to silence him.
Yep.
Gets 2 of his own, gets his Blade Storm going. Now he's able to drop a rifle for dim sum, and they're going to get a full buy out of it.
Good guy. Good guy, Screwface. All right, we'll take a look at finances here in a minute again. Because of how close these rounds have been, that's something I want to keep a very keen eye on for DHBK. And they're down to a little bit here. Harmon's going to have that Marshall again. It's going to be full armor across the board. But this is a tricky spot for the boys on the defending side.
Yeah, Blade Storm gets pumped, Judge in hand for Jammies as their economy, you know, not exactly as good as it could be. Early A aggression, Screwface doesn't find anything for it, but Gets the information at least. He's retreating as fast as he can back towards screens.
Dude,
And the omen from Anderson at least is going to bail him out for a moment as Jammies just jumps in and finds 2 more with a judge, 3 more with a judge. This man can't be stopped.
Dude, LW fully set onto the site, hunting for it. He's already got 4, looking for the ace, and no, it gets robbed. He gets taken out, but DCOP finishes what he was not, unfortunately, able to finish. BC get another round.
Judge, jury, and executioner 16 and 11. This Jet main is the full story of Beast Coast's success here in this half. And I say success, they finally are able to climb, you know, beyond that financial hole. They've claimed 5 rounds on the half for an attack side icebox, Doug. This is shaping up to be a winning attack half, potentially, or at least, you know, we're drawing even at 6. You know, you're counting your blessings thus far if you're DHBK, maybe for some of those rounds that were close, but you want this last one now before going into half number 2.
Dude, for Beast Coast, hell of a response. After how the half started, for them to have the grit to get to this point where we're having a conversation about 6-6 is just very impressive. They're going to get the wall up. It looks like they're going to get the spike down as well. DHBK has already lost 1 member. To try to fight to take the site back. Jammies has just been a man possessed for Beast Coast here as DHBK just have 2 members remaining in the round. Nothing to save for, no reason to hold anything back. Dimsum gets 1, but he gets traded out. Ange is alone, and he's not around for long. Beast Coast, again, given how the half started, for them to get to 6-6 at half is impressive.
Wow. And, dude, Doug, Jammies looks angry. Okay, like just the way he's whipping back and forth, he's pressing this attack, and it's like a follow me mentality. He's leading from the front every round, finding the first contact and winning his duels, and in this case, closing out with a 4K. An incredible clutch, and certainly has changed the tide, changed my tune, changed the perspective and outlook of this match, as now we're all 6s. And you know, I haven't spoken about him much, Doug, but I'll just touch on it quickly. I wonder how they're going to work with Ange on this attack, because he looked very out of sorts, almost uncomfortable on defense over towards B alone as Reyna. I wonder whether or not he's got something in store for us in terms of maybe entering on the Reyna, but not altogether out of the woods yet is Beast Coast. They've got a lot of Valorant left to play here.
Yeah, dude, however, with Jamie's, let's be perfectly clear here. Jamie's almost had an ace twice, right? 4Ks, impressive 4Ks. It wasn't, you know, like you just randomly shot him all in the back or whatever. It was a Blade Storm and it was a judge. It was flashy, and he came, I mean, right on the precipice of getting ace twice, right? Like if Jamie's, you mentioned he's playing angry, he's full sending, right? Playing with confidence, and that can be terrifying. A Jed who's feeling herself, nah, man.
It can be terrifying and it can be inspiring. And if you're just looking at this scoreboard right now, and of course, frag counts, stuff like that, it doesn't tell the whole story, so I'm not going to try to, but you got to think that how uncomfortable every single individual of Beast Coast looked throughout the duration of Ascent. You know, flipping sides here over at on Icebox, excuse me. It really seemed at certain points, you know, especially when they were down, what was it, 5-1 at one point?
Yeah.
It really would have been too easy for us to just continue that storyline of, well, Beast Coast didn't come to play and DHBK did. And instead, a rallying cry of sorts out of those clutches can swing the momentum. We talk about it a lot. That morale is a big thing. Confidence is huge in these kind of close series. Right away, we see a recon bolt coming out towards green. And that crane will grant some vision to the side of DHBK, who's going to take this B long orb and perhaps press forward towards yellow. This is not too unlike what we saw from T1 earlier, just in the premise at least, of denying vision, taking some map control, making BC wonder and guess a bit.
We'll see DHBK here. They're showing a little B,
Coming back.
but you can see they're not fully committed to this hit here. Meanwhile, Dimsum is taking real estate. He's getting closer and closer. Jamie's the only one here. Well, and if Dimsum, all right, they're going back to B. Or at least they're heavily mulling it over more than they were before. Dimsum's starting to rotate back out. It looks like that's where they want to go. Kohler's got utility to kind of keep them at bay here. Let's see. All right, here they go. The dart comes out. The paranoia goes out as well.
30 seconds
And
left.
swings first. Screwface looking for a little something as well. He's going to dash back. The members of BEASTCOAST are starting to show up as well. And they're showing up at just the worst possible time as Screwface and Anderson are already able to get one apiece. Tig on the other side of the smoke looking for something. He gets it. B-Dog gets it as well.
10 seconds.
3v3 here. Harmon still hasn't got the spike down. He's going to have to hurry. B-Dog gets another one again. The spike just continues to get delayed, but DHBK, I mean, just narrowly steal that round away.
Watching that back in slow-mo, I'm not even quite sure. I think Harmon pulled off of the plant to swing on the player behind double, gets the frag, dies immediately, and yeah, Dimsum cleaning it up in what was a nanosecond of a 1v1 before it was all over. But I mean, considering how the last, checking the scoreboard here, 6 rounds have gone in favor of mostly BEASTCOAST, firing on all cylinders to end the first half. A pistol round is a huge win here for DHBK, where perhaps their dominance was faltering for a bit. Now you gotta wonder, can they bring it back again?
DHBK having some prettier weapons here. I think I saw a Bulldog as well, so they certainly weren't bashful in how they decided to spend their money. Meanwhile, BEASTCOAST were pretty patient. Maybe one better pistol, but by and large, they're not going to have much to work with here in this round.
I have the spike.
BEASTCOAST, they have some utility over on B, so Kohler kind of strapped at least to this half of the map for now, and they've fully invested everything towards A.
Yeah, that's 7-6. You have a lot of rounds to work with. No reason to overspend here. And things are about to get really sketchy here, Doug.
Oh, it's just noise, man. It's just noise. It's eye candy. Look at how BEASTCOAST just bite on everything. B is entirely left alone. They're able to get onto the site. Dimsum is clearing everything out to his chagrin, finding there's no one there. They're going to be able to get the spike down by themselves. They have room to work with, spread out, assume very comfortable post plants. And BC, the gun's not in a great spot. Losing control of the site as well certainly doesn't feel good, but D-Cop getting a big one there.
Oh my goodness, all of these engagements are so precarious, and Dimsum pays with his life. Anders really was hoping to get that paranoia out. He does not. Now it's a 2-on-3. Ange, I mentioned in the previous half, getting a bit uncomfortable. Now he's in full Reyna form. I'm going to take these Bulldog fights. And Kohler actually is going to win the first one. Now it's just Harmon in another 1v1. Finds 3 on the round. 8-6, even gets his Hunter's Fury up to boot. And here we go. DHBK. Once again, things are going right for BEASTCOAST on a round where maybe it shouldn't. And DHBK, who seemingly can do no wrong, come out on top, Doug.
They just extinguish, right? That's like sucking air out of the room where it looks like BEASTCOAST look good. They've got the positions, everything is working out, and then bam, DHBK take it all away from them. Harmon went nuts there. I thought it was going to be Ange, to be honest with you, who had the Bulldog, but Harmon had one of his own. Very well played by DHBK. But now BEASTCOAST here. Again, look, the thing that's interesting to me about BEASTCOAST. Uh-oh, there's that kind of fury that you mentioned earlier. Don't know that
You almost TK Screwface. Oops.
Yeah, but it created room for Screwface to get in. Ultimately, Tig takes care of him. Tig gets the second one on Anderson as well. He's going to get pushed back. BEASTCOAST with the numbers advantage.
Like a balloon tied to an anchor. Just once more, the wind in the sails dissipates, and DHBK looks like they're out of a round, but we've seen this so many times before. I am not ruling them out here, Doug, as Ange gets aggressive, finds one. Kohler does get one before he falls. Harmon now in another 1v2. Yeah. He finds one, he finds 2. 1v1 now. Dancing around. The movement is too strong from D-Cop, draws out the spray, and Harmon will fall despite his efforts. And you know what, Doug? Despite, those efforts that I just mentioned, he got 4 frags. All right, BEASTCOAST's money is not going to be looking pretty in this next round. You get a spike plan out of it. You invested a Hunter's Fury. Things could have been worse here.
Yep. Yeah, and that was for Beast Coast. You got to feel good. They're getting that round. They should have. I mean, they've got something.
A little bit.
Yeah, they've got something, right? It's not the worst. Meanwhile, for DHBK, you see they've got certainly less, right? They're going to be bringing pistols into this one. Don't know that they're going to try to do anything spicy with it. And this is, again, an opportunity for Beast Coast here to tie us up and to really take control of this map.
And early orb at A main for Beast Coast. So Tig will have his Hunter's Fury in hand if it comes to it this round. Prevent at least a spike plant, perhaps. But a very spread default coming up from DHBK. One of those standard sheriff buys where it's like, yo, everybody go take a duel. Find me some map control, see what's open, see what they're doing. And Screwface over here at mid doing just that. We'll find no one for the time being. It'll be Ange to fight the turret first. Or takes a long range Vandal ADS spray. Very nearly takes down one, if not two, of those players.
Yep. Oof. Yep, that doesn't feel good. Jamie's taking Ange out. DHBK looking to flip the map. Well, I mean, reasonably so, right? They have some control of mid. They certainly have control of A, as Harmon has made his way all the way up entirely uncontested.
30 seconds
I mean,
left.
there's a tight 50 here. Oh, no. All right, B-Dog. The timing. Oh! Harmon! Harmon snaps on him and takes him out. Tig trades it out. But at this point, DHBK should have room to work on the site. The thing is, they only have 2 members left, and one of them has nothing for health. He's going to drop. BC tie us up. They refuse to go away.
Silver lining again. If we're hunting the good stuff for DHBK, you at least get the Hunter's Fury out of Tig. But Beast Coast, right? Like, that was actually the most unfortunate timing / situation for B-Dog at screens. Harmon rips his head off, but East Coast slowly but surely, Doug, one round at a time.
Yep.
Staying in this game, and not just the game, but their series and closed qualifier hopes are tied to this map. Already heroics from Jammies at 22 and 16, man. This guy, he really wants to win. Really wants to advance and have a chance to play for that Masters qualification next weekend in the closed qualifier, but many rounds left to be played. Decop with this Guardian, who's shown us how sick he can be with it. Has this aggressive wall deep mid. There's a hole in it now, of course, but it's an interesting way to handle any kind of a mid lurk or aggression. See this too often.
Oh, yeah, you really don't. But you already see Anderson kind of trying to take some of that space back. Right, the smoke's going to go out just to make sure there's nothing, and they feel a bit more confident in their ability to swing out. But Decop, there he is, the Guardian, man. You called it. He's good for one at least.
Turret destroyed.
That's enough to at least scare him off for the moment. Screwface has gained the ground needed over here at Wires, now at the bottom of B site. Killjoy lockdown comes in, but Ange somehow finds a lineup. 2 Vandal headshots instantly turn the tide in the favor of DHBK. Screwface securing that now with a 4-on-2 advantage. And Ange, who maybe has had some quiet moments in the series thus far, comes up huge for DHBK when they need somebody to. He's already stalling the jet over here at the screens.
Yeah, that was a big one. We'll see B-Dog. Ange might have another chance here up against B-Dog as you see Jamie's. Well, he had a chance. Well, didn't work out. You see Jamie's, he's all the way. It's like, nope, I don't want it, right? Like, I'm going to keep this up. I don't want the heat. B-Dog, you go see what you can find. And for B-Dog, yeah, he's going to lurk around. Maybe try to get a pick, but well, it didn't pan out. It didn't work out for him. But DHBK are going to take a 1-round lead again.
Now, see, this is what I was telling you about. There's like bunnies and squirrels. I guess there's a squirrel. Is that a worm or a snake up there?
Yeah,
I don't know,
like
man.
Snake.
But there's like bears and hidden animals on all the maps. Guys, if you didn't know that,
You should run.
one One of my favorite parts about Valorant maps is a little Easter egg scattered about, but look at that. Just it. I mean, Kohler is playing his position back there, and he's certainly been exploited through mid. It wasn't his doing, but just looks helpless. Not a whole lot of recourse in that scenario where,
Eyes up.
you know, they've kind of overwhelmed your side of the map. Your face takes advantage of that. You have a Hunter's Fury, you have a Blade Storm. You've got From the Shadows where they've used it, I think, once in this half aggressively, but what I'm trying to say is Anderson is not shy when it comes to that Omen ultimate.
There.
Willing to pop it and get aggressive with it, which is the trademark move of a scary Omen player. He's proved to be thus far, and Owl Drone instantly coming out. This is, no doubt about it, going to be a fast 5-man B play from DHBK, but they haven't shown their hand till now. The rotates will come in from Beast Coast.
Dimsum should be able to get the spike down. You see James with the op from up top. He's been so good with that weapon, and he's going to get a chance to flex on that again. Harmon clearing out that corner that Kohler normally plays. Unfortunately, it was decop for him this time around. Jamies, however, good for one. Screwface trades it out as Anderson is on the push-up. Beast Coast down to 2. And for them, it's a good 2. Kohler, good for 1. B-Dog, good for 1 as well. Kohler's going to drop a 1v2 in favor of DHBK. B-Dog, oh, B-Dog goes in aggressive. Screwface greets him by slicing his face apart. 3K for him. DHBK take a 2-round lead.
And there was just so many awesome things to watch there from DHBK. Harmon right at the end there in that 2v2 pops the Hunter's Fury just to deal with the lockdown so his teammate can handle a 1v2 gunfight. Like, the presence of mind on the side of DHBK to be making the plays that they are, right? Anderson, Screwface on the B site, dancing around cover, not really taking much damage for their efforts, essentially coming away with clean kills before they get, you know, traded out themselves.
Yep.
And then that stellar play from Harmon that I mentioned, his Sova is very good, clearly, and he's showing us why. And DHBK, who's in the driver's seat now, just economically and momentum-wise, they are just all out executing on sites now. First B, now A, Doug, and Decop with this Bucky on site is all alone.
Yeah, I mean, for Beast Coast, the good, well,
the flank, never mind.
Yeah, man, I was about to point out they have mid control. They have a couple of members going in from the flank. They've got a decent shot at this retake, but Harmon, yeah, it was Harmon who just sniffs it out, cleans it up. No longer a problem. Beast Coast. The problem is here, for as close as it's been, for as much as Beast Coast have played this bend as much as you can, but don't break. The problem is here, the bending is real late in the game, right? Like, this isn't a, 4-4 and it's been close, but there's still plenty of rounds. There's room for us to drop a couple of rounds and we're okay. That gap, that window is closing very quickly. 11-8 here. That was one of their rounds that, well, it was a late pistol round, right? You kind of presume that they're going to lose it, but Beast Coast can't afford that again.
They need something to go their way, and they were, something that went right for them in the last half was a 4K Blade Storm eco round win from Jamies. And I mean, I hate to kind of sound cliche about it, but somebody's got to step up, man.
Yep.
And there's been asks throughout this game from Caster Lex where I'm like, something's got to give for Beast Coast to win this somehow. And Jamies take a few times. Like, these players have delivered. But to continuously ask that of them and expect continuously consistent results is just, it's asking too much, Doug.
Wow.
A minute left on the clock. Pretty much everybody from DHBK is over here. A hit underway.
Yep, here we go. They're going to funnel in. The paranoia is going to come out just a bit wide as DHBK continue to etch onto the site. Tig gets one. That's a good start. As Ange is taken out, they still fight for control of the site. The spike hasn't gone down, and you see Dimsum potentially considering. All right, he was just holding down the flank. Tig's still there. The spike is going to go down. Shock dart not going to connect onto anything. Kohler good for Harmon. Kohler good for Anderson. Kohler good for 2. As Beast Coast sitting pretty here.
Tig and Kohler both answering the call that put to them just now a moment ago.
One down.
Some not dead yet. Yet. Tig finds 3, dude. That is exactly what Beast Coast need. They need it consistently throughout the rest of this game. And I mean, honestly, you spoke to it in the pregame, and once or twice we've gotten to see it over 2 maps where Kohler shows off his cracked aim and really opens things up either on a retake or into his sight for the side of BC. But you know, I wonder whether or not in the future, like, this team can, I don't know, move him to another agent or something, because I really feel like he's being underutilized as far as just how willing he is to take those gunfights. I mean, he's taking it to him when he can.
Take flight.
And right there, him and Tig really step up to the level we expect them to be at. Still a res only on... Whoa!
Nice.
In that top 2 peak where
Nice.
I thought Anders was going to sit tight, but Jammies finds the first 5v4 now.
Yep, 5v4 in favor of Beast Coast to have a couple of vaults in their back pockets. DHBK, you see them taking space across B, but they haven't committed to it. The spike across the middle. Dimsum gonna try to rotate over and see if he can get some room, but as quickly as Beast Coast get a window, DHBK punch right back.
Such a tense moment over here at Long Beach where both jets just feet, meters away. You talk with an A main push that catches a dim sum unawares. That's a lot of information. That's a lot of map territory that now just question marks for DHBK. They're almost forced to commit here at B with 35 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, I mean, they have to. Right? Like, they've created
30
some room
seconds
and they have a decent idea of where at least one of the jets is, so they have to commit here. They don't have time to go elsewhere. Ange with a big shot onto D-Cop. 3v3 here. DHBK also has the Hunter's Fury for the post plant potentially. You see him back up. He has to stay alive as Beast Coast. It's on them now to retake the site to try to get things back in their favor. The Empress has been used by Ange, who, as you mentioned, has been quiet, but is going to have an opportunity for something special here. Here's the Hunter's Fury. You heard it tap, trying to push him off, but Screwface good for 1. He's going to dash back up. Beast Coast. Go, Jamie's here. Jamie's is going to drop Ange for 3. The Empress, he goes up. B-Dog rips him down, but Ange gets 4. DHBK get to map point.
Ange, who I've cited a few times as having stepped up and come up big for this team in the second half particularly, comes away with 4. And several times in that round, Doug, you pointed out, Beast Coast had basically put all the odds in their favor. They had a lot of information, had that early kind of aim main aggression that yielded a flank frag. And yet, somehow, once more, DHBK has clawed back into the light, and now they are on map and series point, 12-9. All 5 players are biding their time, playing this slow and cautious to ensure that this does not go 1 round further.
Hey, here we go for Beast Coast. Jamie's using the Blade Storm, but 5 ultimates to work with here. DHBK, yeah, they have the lead. Yeah, they have guns, but working through those, working through the Hunter's Fury, working through the lockdown, the Blade Storm in the hands of Jamie's, who's been absolutely insane. Can prove to be difficult, but Screwface tipping things in their favor with the opening pick onto B-Dog.
Screwface has been so impressive throughout this series, but finally we see that res come up big. See back on 5 players. A exec underway for DHBK. From the shadows into sight, dark cover on the back rafters. Paranoia comes out. Lockdown comes in from the defense, and those shock darts need to either clean it up or it needs to get dropped. There it goes. 4-on-4 now, Doug.
You should run.
Jamie's is good. There's the other lockdown that's going to be used in response along with the Hunter's Fury from Tig. Spike is down here. Beast Coast have to make a move. Jamie's is going to drop. Screwface takes care of him, and he's going to use a Blade Storm of his own. Now Beast Coast again. They've got to go here. Tig taps on it, but pulls back off. D-Cup goes big. Tig does as well. It's just down to Ange, and he is not able to pull it off. Beast Coast live to fight another round.
Wow, man. East Coast hold on by their fingernails, and you know what? You know, I keep expecting them to crumble. You know, DHBK 2 or 3 different times in that round, Screwface with the entry. The lockdown comes in. You even saw, I believe that was Tig, wrecking the Hunter's Fury into his teammates' back to get that lockdown situated. And instead, the retake goes fantastically for Beast Coast. The 3-on-3 yields basically no deaths. Now it's 12-10. You've got a mostly full buy for Beast Coast. You've gotten the op out of the hands of Screwface. And not to seem like there's nothing left in the tank that they can draw on, but yeah, the initiative goes back towards Beast Coast, and Ange gets popped immediately by an aggressive op from Jammies.
Ooh, and Screwface is already certainly worse for wear. Things looking real good for Beast Coast here, and they're doing so without all of the ultimates that they had, right? I mentioned they were going to throw everything that they had at him, and it was tough on DHBK, but Beast Coast is showing that they can do so even without that in their pockets. A 5v3, maybe a 5v2.5, if we want to call it that.
Yeah.
Beast Coast looking good this round.
Things going right for Beast Coast. Things that, from the last map as Judgment, the first half as Judgment, we've been seldom saying that. You know, things going right for Beast Coast, but here it is. And as you said, 5 versus 2.5, 40 seconds left on the ticker. Spike in hand over here at Long B, and this Jammies op posted over here at the right side of yellow. An off angle, and sure to be one
30
that
seconds left.
the likes of DHBK, if they want to go towards B, will have to cross. But I wonder, with their economy on the line, 25 seconds left, did they just save here, Doug?
Yeah, I was actually just thinking that, because if this goes sideways, right, and it already has, I don't know that they're going to have a ton financially to go into this next round.
Seconds left.
Oh my gosh. He's going to get the op. No way.
Surely they don't go for the round.
No. But I'm freaking out because I keep saying things are going right for Beast Coast. And something very right just went for DHBK going into the last round here. Going to be able to afford an operator now.
Yep.
And by afford, I mean carry that into the next round. And you know, they won't have a full buy, but Screwface has entried so many times for DHBK. That's huge.
Rebalancing checkbooks, seeing how far their money can stretch. Ange is going to have a sheriff. No ultimates really for either squad here. This is just going to come down to gunplay. Again, DHBK, they've really been in control for the majority of both halves. It just so happened that Beast Coast, at the very end of the first half and at the end of the second half, they roar back to life and they keep things competitive. Now, Beast Coast sitting pretty here. They have guns for days. They are way better off financially than DHBK are, and they're really poised here to send us to overtime.
And East Coast has mostly been willing to give Long B throughout this half. When they've fought it, things have usually gone well for them. In contrast here, Screwface gets a lot of free ground and gets to post on this defender spawn rotation. And Kohler taking some really bold dry peeks now. Oh, and he gets the first one to Screwface. That is huge.
I mean, that was their calling card, right? Like, that was their ace in the hole. Dimson should... Nope. No, he's not. Ladies and gents, it looks like almost a foregone conclusion here. The artillery problem that we painted for DHBK at the beginning of the round might be what sends us to overtime. Ange here with one. Harmon with one as well? No way. Surely not. Surely not. Right? Harmon has a good idea of where one player is. The problem is the spike isn't down, right? Like, there's no equalizer here to apply pressure onto Beast Coast. The things are only 15 seconds left. DHBK have to quickly get onto the spike and get it down, but you got to be careful about the Sova. Tig on the flank. Tig good for one. Looking for the second. We're going to overtime.
OT. You know what, man? With as exciting as this series has been for me to watch, I should not be surprised at all that Beast Coast rally once more to throw things into their favor. And it really, the biggest frag of the round, hats off to Kohler for being able to collect 2 with his Killjoy in bottom of B site. I mean, we're talking about just millimeters of, I don't know, leg being shown by Screwface there on the left side of yellow. That's all Kohler needed to find two of the biggest impact frags in this half so far for himself. And Jammy's at 27 and 21, still leading the charge for Beast Coast, but it really seems like the rest of his team has joined him.
Yep.
Whereas DHBK has cooled a bit,
Scanning ahead.
but again also has a significant part of their team chiming in big in this second half as well. So OT, first start, already an op on Jammies.
Yeah, they both, Screwface and Jammies both brought ops into the fold. The spike goes down. DHBK seemingly able to hold fast on A with little problem. So far, the spike is in a horrible spot for Beast Coast. They're going to have to get through the defenses of DHBK and still get onto the spike to be able to plant it. It's a tough ask, but again, in overtime here, you've got to make it happen. Tig gets onto the spike, gets it down that wall, buying some time and creating some space. Now it's on DHBK with the numbers advantage to try to take this bad boy back. Tig from up top, gonna get a chance at something here. One, Screwface. Oh, with the op 2, Tig, good for 3 already. Tig's putting the round on his back as he's trying to put DHBK away to give them the lead, but Screwface with the op, good for 1. B-Dog gets 1. It's just down to Dimsum. Dimsum's gonna drop. Jammies gets the shot. Beast Coast take the lead.
Wow, man. I mean, you remember just at the beginning of that round, you know, DHBK puts themselves in a 5v3, almost unlosable position with where that spike ended up landing. And I wonder whether or not staying a little bit longer on that A site cost them perhaps the map, at least that round. And I mean, it was brave of D-Cop to kind of sprint in there with the spike out in hand, put the wall down and try and plant, but I wonder whether or not they thought the site was clear, or clearly he did, but Anderson made a play, Harmon made a play, but DHBK has nothing to show for it. And really, I mean, Doug, you called it, but that heroics from Tig around that dark cover, just shutting things down, almost even getting the third through the smoke on a Screwface. Like, given how things were going, this is Beast Coast where we expected Beast Coast to be.
Yep. We are currently just exited. We just exited attack pause on from DHBK, understanding the gravitas of the moment, trying to put Beast Coast away. DHBK on the attacking side here, going to use Harmon's drone initially to create some space. And look, man, we called it in the second half. You pointed it out. Beast Coast very comfortable with giving up B long here.
Which I feel like there's a lot of reason to believe that it should be working against them. But more than once, you know, just having Kohler alone over here or Jammies with an op has still netted them the first frag, or at least the round. So there's no fault in that as of yet, but definitely DHBK keeps returning to this point in time where they make some A presence, they take long B control, they go quiet, they make BC wonder where they are, and here we are now. You know, in the coming seconds, you'll see this B execute come out from DHBK, the dark covers land, and it's all on Kohler once more to make this hold a reality.
Spike drop.
Just needs to buy time.
Revealing area.
Buy time for Beast Coast to get there. And starting to plant. Looking to get the spike down. It's going to get pushed off of it. Again, just buying time. Just enough time for D-Cop to show up. Anderson, very well played. He gets around him. Dimsum's on the flank. He spots a couple of players. And if he can just hold fast and keep them at bay, he keeps them out of the play. But DHBK have fallen apart. It's just Screwface alone. He's good for 1. But with 5 seconds left, there's just no time. Beast Coast, they look like this map was lost so many times, but they refuse to go away. Bend but don't break continues to be the theme for Beast Coast as they take us to map 3.
And there's really only one word.
HBK feeling themselves, and you're like, dang, all right, they're going to take Icebox. 63% of you pick DHBK, who wins? Beast Coast. So it seems to me that the majority, whoever you guys vote for, is going to lose. So make your votes very carefully as we head into Bind. Again, the decider between these two squads. Talking to me about compositions, Lex, I see you. Anderson playing Brim. Talk to me about that pick.
Yes. Well, I really couldn't tell you much from the way of DHBK or what he's going to be doing with it in particular, but for Bind, you know, as a map where early on in the beta, Brim was very much in fashion, you know, prior to the original Omen buffs, you got used to seeing Brimstone, especially on Bind, and, you know, in a big way, he kind of just left. You haven't seen him in a long time, so Armin on the Sova, Screwface on the Jet, expected. Cypher and okay, Ange on the Raze. This is a pretty typical Bind comp, I think, if we were, you know, harkening back to the days of early Valorant. But
Well,
I'm welcome to see it back.
Well,
I'll say this though: what's interesting about a Brimstone pick over an Omen is that, you know, typically you have your controller player somewhere on the map supporting maybe another duelist. You know, it really can just depend on how you like to play the map, but both orbs on defense are well, even on attack, are extremely farmable. Okay, so you've got a Raze ultimate, you've got Bladestorm, you've got Hunter's Fury, and now you've thrown in Orbital Strike into the mix. You know, those are round-changing, perhaps game-changing ultimates in the right scenarios. And, you know, frequently getting to that point of having extra ability at your disposal to change the course of the rounds, well, an Orbital Strike is certainly a start. Also got Incendiary for, you know, kind of act as that post-plant utility. There's a lot to look forward to for this comp here for DHBK.
plenty of smokes, plenty of bang. It's going to require a whole lot of quick peeks in order to pull things off. We'll see what Beast Coast can do. DHBK starting off on the attacking side, leaning towards A. They've got showers control. They've got short control. Well, I lied. They had it, but Tig dispatches of them instantly.
That frenzy coming up big. A shock dart to follow. Dim Sum eats that one. Despite recovering the ghost, Stange will actually be the one to pick it up. Tig falls. That's one. Decop.
Good
Jammies. The frenzies are just too strong.
Anderson, you gotta go, baby. Takes a telly, gets the heck out of dodge. Looks like he's gonna be able to get the spike down. No,
Yo,
this is winnable, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, look at the HPs, and he's got a molly.
Yep. Certainly winnable. We'll see if he has any cheeky, like, lineups. But he's gonna get a chance here. Dash is there. Quick. Whoa! Okay. He's got at least info on two. Swings around. No way. One. The smoke. Two. No freaking way. Anderson, baby. The 3K. Line him up and knock him down. DHBK win the pistol.
Ooh. Oh, man. That sky smoke, I think, may have been enough to at least distract the side of BC from the possibility of an elbow wrap. And if you're retaking this site, okay, you're up against a Brimstone who likely has an Incendiary at hand. So you're thinking, okay, this guy's either in hookah or he's at a long B playing the post plant really passive, knowing that we're low. And instead, Anderson just out here making plays in a big way. 1-0 now for DHBK to start at map 3 here, Doug.
Dude, and I thought for sure D-Cop was going to peek out of that smoke and give him the business. Right? But the call, I guess the call may have come in a bit late. I'm not sure either way. We mentioned pistol, favor of the attackers. Now, second round on the board. We saw them work A, well, until they got out. Now we're seeing them work their way up B. Ton of utility, a lot of ouch across hookah.
Lucky Brawl incoming.
Yes, please.
We'd love to see these. And Decop investing that $900 is all for naught because the shock bolts from Harmon find their mark.
Man, I was freaking pumped up for the Bucky thing.
Me too, man.
Harmon ruining the fun. All right, either way, DHBK, they have the numbers advantage here. And what they don't realize is that, yeah, cloud bursts, mollies, darts, everything, it's all for naught because nobody's home, right? They're going to be able to get onto the site for free. Now Beast Coast. They don't have a ton here. We'll see how they choose to play this one out.
And despite some small investment, perhaps into weapons, really that was just an A stack looking to perhaps find an unwitting DHBK retreating towards there after seeing the Bucky instead. Here we are, Anderson finding a very uncomfortable and shocked B-Dog.
Surprise.
Orbital Strike is online. Turns on Tig, and just one left. That is in Hookah. He's got the Bucky. He's been wisely backing up now.
Flawless.
All right, there's a scope on top of that. Pretty sure the Bucky.
It seems that way sometimes. It really does.
It's got a 4x.
All right, DHBK, flawless round 2, right? So they can ride this bonus deep into the sunset. They've got Bulldogs. They've got the Bucky in the hands of Screwface. A couple of Spectres in there as well. Looking good, feeling good, money for days. Beast Coast, they're buying up. Interestingly enough, 2 players not going to be bringing full armor into the fold.
And we see Anderson towards short A. So the boom bot headed towards Hookah. Maybe some B presence. If I had to guess, Doug, and I'm guessing more, I'm hoping, even as Kohler finds that pick over at Showers, perhaps we'll see an orbital strike and an A execute. We can cross our fingers here and hope. But Screwface already in possession of U-Haul. Up short is all of DHBK, and here we go.
Dude,
Spike soon to be planted.
Yeah, man, he's taking so much space here. At this point, they can just smoke off heaven, and Kohler's going to have to peek his way through that great camera there to get him some info. Keep a close eye on the telly, too. Someone just took it out. Going to be pushing in through Showers. They're wise to it. Screwface. Oh, no. Oh, no. No. Unfortunate events. Anderson gets Tig. Dimsum gets it as well. DHBK still in a decent spot here. Jamie's on the defuse. However, he's going to stick it. The ball's on this guy.
Last player
And
standing.
he dies to the Molotov. Wow. That is an understatement. That was a hero play and a half from Jammies, who just steps in, sticks the defuse, tanks the damage, and despite the orbital strike, despite the incendiary, the Brimstone's efforts fall a bit short. Nevertheless, you got a lot of frags there.
Yep.
You invested the orbital strike, yeah, but you're already halfway towards another one.
Which is nice.
And yeah, that feels good.
Yep.
But you've really damaged the economy. It's a good round to lose, let me just say that. You get a Blade Storm out from Jammies, but otherwise, Beast Coast, a bit of a broken buy. Upset this aggression towards B early on from DHBK, and they kind of lined up on it from out of spawn, but
Okay.
wild play from Tig there.
Yeah, but they don't have hookah control. Right? Like, they never established that. Ange is going to be there watching to make sure nobody comes into telly, but they've already lost hookah control. Right? And the thing is, DHBK, they're not on the site. They haven't committed to the spike, and they don't really have a ton of room to work with. They may try... Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they're going to flip out. Absolutely flip the map. Ange was there. He does get one, a gift, like a
Look at
parting
this.
gift for his troubles, but they're just going to flip the map again.
I love it. And what's crucial to note here, you mentioned they didn't have hookah. It almost seemed intentional. You drop a sky smoke at the entrance. That's 20 seconds where you can get elbow control, perhaps even force the play-in out with a
30
reflank
seconds
from Ange. Instead, it's just D-Cop having his team outmaneuvered, and it's Harmon to clean it out. And now hookah is theirs. 20 seconds left on the clock, and despite a long-range Blade Storm frag from Jamie's onto Harmon, the knives fall short on the rest, and now it's just B-Dog opting to pull away and save this Phantom for another day. And it's really, I love the way that they played that. And like you said, it's not as though you could just like plant spike, play on the site with people in hookah. You're going to get shot from too many different directions. So they basically take the opportunity, abuse the teleporters on the map, and Ange finds a frag or two that really required no utility and no effort whatsoever. It just took his teammates using the map.
Yep. Well, and even like, so they get onto the site. They even took elbow control. So that looked like that's where they wanted to play. And then the flip over, the thing is, Ange getting those picks after the play was gone, that's what opens the window for them to come back. right? That's just like everyone's already bailed out, right? Like you assume that because they hear you take the telly and you get one of the final lurking picks, you know that B is open.
Absolutely. Just beautiful control. And this is why I kept saying, you know, to some degree and with some variance, of course, but DHBK has just looked like such a solid team, right? Just the team aspect of it alone is enough to be the difference in a lot of these rounds. And right there, Beast Coast not failing to hit their mark when the shots are needed, but failing to stay one step ahead of the movement from DHBK.
All right, Bucky versus Judge. Where's your money? Quick.
On the Bucky, man. Bucky's gonna lose.
All right. We'll see. We're going to get a chance here unless somebody intervenes. That's
Never
not
mind.
Terrible. Oh! Bucky's never lose, man. You jinxed them. Screwface gets one. Screwface dashes in, gets a second one as well. Beast goes down to 3 members left. Kohler with some nice shots with the classic.
Spike
Okay.
planted.
All right. But the spike goes down over on A. Everyone's just kind of like lost in their whereabouts.
One enemy remaining.
There's just not a whole lot that Beast Coast can do here.
That was
jinx
so painful to witness.
Yeah, you jinxed it, man. That's entirely on you.
Do you think that was like a right click at too close a range, or do you think that was a left click that just missed across the board?
It looked like a left click that I thought it was a left click that missed, but oh man, just a hair, just a hair.
Like, that's one of those, not only do you, I wish I had that at another opportunity, wish I got that kill back, but like I'd be nauseous after that, you know what I mean? Like a little seasick.
Even we felt a little sick watching it.
Oh man. Oh, you know, people are, you know, the classic gamer term, you hate to see it, but actually
You do, bro. Yep.
that was painful.
Revealing area.
DHBK here, big lead, 3 rounds up, big ultimates to work with as well, man. Think about the impact behind the orbital strike, the Hunter's Fury, and the Showstopper. They can crack this bad boy wide open.
And we've seen a few dueling showstoppers today. We'll wait here as U-Haul is already in control of Screwface with this Judge.
Wow.
A B-Dog holding fast at back triple for 3. Already looking like it's all Beast Coast here. Just Harmon in a 1v4. Kohler closes it out, and now Beast Coast back on the board with 2. Economy under control. 4 will live, and only got to rebuy armor on that raise. So Decop in good shape despite that. And now you've got an op on Jammies. You know, what may have been a 4-1 lopsided half so far for DHBK. This is definitely the springboard towards hopefully greener pastures if you're a Beast Coast fan, because they've got the opportunity here.
Yeah, they've got something cooking. Real pretty round there from Beast Coast. And the thing is, like, dude, we'll joke about the Bucky and the Judge, but Screwface trying to fight from U-Haul all the way across the site with the Judge into a Phantom? Dog. Like, you shouldn't win that, right? And you see there that he doesn't. A Phantom maybe, or Vandal could have had a potentially a different outcome, but it was very well played there from Beast Coast. Again, they've got something cooking here. We still have to keep an eye on those 3 ultimates from DHBK.
I love the discipline in this default from DHBK. So their presence at showers has been betrayed. Kohler getting good information off of the camera and tripwire there.
Yep.
But immediately DHBK recognizes this as, yo, let's make some B presence. Here's the orbital strike we've been waiting for, right? Nobody's there, but actually it goes back triple, so they're at least creating space. Yep.
Space. And the Hunter's Fury as well, really just kind of setting up a death ball. But it's not the Hunter's Fury. It's not the orbital strike. It's Screwface, who's good for 2, and they still have that showstopper to work with. They're going to get the spike down. Beast Coast in a 5v3 now. They are going to be pushing in from different sides, so they are multi-dimensional in their retake attempts. They've got options here, but it's still a tough task. Kohler with 1, though. Certainly good for it. There's the showstopper. Ange takes care of him. Kohler's off for the rest of the round. Beast Coast, again, still here, heavily outnumbered. I don't think they want this anymore. It looks like they're going to back off. Anderson, just to be safe, going to drop that molly. Make sure there are no shenanigans late in the round. DHBK should take a 3-round lead here.
Doug, what's crazy about this is I'm like, oh, nobody's home in U-Haul. But that is why Valorant could be so excruciatingly hard to just like understand why players are doing what they're doing, and then at the same time so beautiful to understand when you understand
wow.
it. And right there, Beast Coast knows that the Orbital Strike has been online since what, like round 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
So they've not played in U-Haul basically since then. Screwface like took it the one time, you know, by force, found his frags or whatever, and felt great about that. But Beast Coast has largely ignored it. They've played from back sight up towards pipes. They've been willing to give all that ground, even, you know, D-Cop getting up there on top of truck, just trying to avoid that Hunter's Fury. But the Orbital Strike comboed with the Hunter's Fury cuts down on the amount of space that Beast Coast can actually dodge. Not just the recon bolt scan itself, but just the Hunter's Fury, the tags. I mean, they're all dancing around in the site. Those are free kills for the shooters on site for DHBK. And now a full B push. Almost inevitable now for all 5 players from DHBK over here on this side of the map.
And they have, I mean, this seems like a pretty heavy commitment. There's nobody lurking showers. There's nobody lurking A. They've got tripwires to ensure that nobody's lurking on them. So you presume this is a hit that they want to take. Screwface dashing forward, looking to see if he can get a little bit more room, but Jamie's with the op. Just narrowly doesn't get a shot to take a look really at anything. B-Dog good for one. And Tig is as well, and the spike goes down. DHBK fall apart at the seats.
Ange taking the scalp of Kohler at least to start, but 1v4, highly unlikely scenario, and got the paint shells in hand. So might be able to turn this on its head.
30 seconds left.
But to do so, you're going to need to at least survive that long, and Blast Pack's paint shells don't really even come into factor when you take a gun duel like that. That said, you know, you got 5 rounds. You can't win them all. For Beast Coast, on the other hand, that is a very feel-good round. Most of you survive. All of those frags seem to be scattered across the scoreboard. D-Cop had a big hold with some Raze utility. Tig catching the spike, and Anderson trying to push into elbow. A lot of good things to take away from there for BC. And, you know, as Jammies has been the hero throughout, Doug, he's doing 6. He's had a ninja diffuser, or at least a full stick diffuse where maybe he shouldn't have in this game. Still definitely in a situation where make things happen for Beast Coast. The fast A play from DHBK is underway, Doug.
They take U-Haul again.
Oh.
Jamie's one still has showers to control. And that's so difficult. It's very similar to not having hookah and B to make something happen if you don't have showers control. It's so much harder to breathe. Dimson gets one.
Remaining.
And again, DHBK.
I have retrieved the spike.
Dude. Well, you look at where the raise is for Beast Coast. They know there's the opportunity, right? Like, there's the possibility of him pulling out and potentially taking the tally. Dimsum, I mean, dude's in a brutal spot.
This is a tough clutch, but you got 40 seconds.
You've got
You
time.
haven't taken a ton of damage.
That's info.
Dancing around site now, just looking
30
for a
seconds
mistake.
left.
As far as mistakes go, East Coast has seldom made one in this round, but
He has the
some-
neural theft.
Planted the spike.
and no brim. Sorry, no pages to work with. So this is just going to be all raw aim duels. Camera comes back up, but it doesn't matter. B-Dog holds fast, and man, I not to make a neural theft pun, but hats off to Kohler for that hold at triple, man. I mean, there's been a few different opportunities for Beast Coast to make a really, like, I don't know, admirable hold against these kind of full sends up short. You know, we've seen the success when DHBK is able to find frags at U-Haul, push all the defenders back into sight. We've seen what they can do once they've created that space, but right there, Kohler just puts a lid on it.
Unreal. How do you come up with this stuff? Do you think about this ahead of time?
No.
Be honest.
I'm so funny. No, but I was for real though, man. It was a nice play. Okay, I'm not making
was.
jokes out here.
And the pun was good too. I'll give you that. But look, man, BC, they're cooking, baby. They've got something cooking, right? They've won the last couple of rounds. Maybe not in in like back-to-back fashion, but they certainly have had the momentum here on the defending side. DHBK, they have got a Blade Storm and they have a Neural Theft here. But what they don't have is a ton of info at this point.
Tig wants this orb so bad. Just let him have it. He wants his Hunter's Fury, okay?
Let's be a good guy. Give it over.
That can's gonna... He's gonna linger at least. I mean, that's so smart.
Yeah.
That's out of DHBK to understand that, okay, he's one-off orb. He plays over here at Long B sometime, or most of the time. He's probably gonna try and get it.
Yeah, he's giving it up here.
Yeah.
He's giving it up, and that's like, you know, you kind of, it's a little baiting out the carrot, right? Yeah, dude, go ahead, take it. Fine, you can even take B-Long control. We know that you're playing over there, so we're just gonna get out. Plus, we've had Anderson in showers, so we can make something happen here. B-Dog and Ange trade out a couple of kills. DHBK are getting the spike all the way up a short. They're gonna get into U-Haul as well. There's a Neural Theft. Ange, though, good for one.
Bowler, who was just coming up huge for his team, finds one is still alive over here at triple, but he wide swings Harmon. Ange with his third. Just jammies now, 1v3 spike. Not in an easily defusable position. Stuck with an operator over towards heaven. He even suspects that somebody may be coming up behind him from pipes. There's no way of him knowing that.
Right.
Tough spot for Beast Coast. Really going to be a 6th round here for DHBK. Barring something miraculous, and we won't even get that far because... Oh.
No.
No.
He doesn't have time, right?
He doesn't have time, right? Right?
He's getting out. He thought about it. He moved it
Though,
over.
Doug. Imagine if I sat there and I'm like, there's no way. Then I might believe in caster curses. I might. Not today.
I mean, you've done it enough times. You should at this point. DHBK up 2 rounds. They stuff some of the momentum that Beast Coast was cooking with, right? But Beast Coast again still in a good spot. They have a couple of ultimates. They're down 2 rounds, but you can make that up here and potentially get you to a 6-6 half.
Got a Hunter's Fury. Ange one off. Harmon one off. You've got potential showstopper Hunter's Fury for the side of DHBK as well. However, I think part of what they're, I don't know about afraid, but they're definitely concerned about this long B area being aggressed. I mean, Tig walked down the last round and already creating so much space with this owl drone down towards Fountain. And there's one of two things that are going to end up happening with that information. Either East Coast will opt to, move towards A, overstack the site, play off that read. The DHBK is going to try and capitalize on that. Yeah, they're gonna try and go back towards B, expecting East Coast to over-rotate here, but they haven't. Look at this.
Well, but there's also, like, they drew out some utility, right? You saw the Paranoia come out. You know that's not in the fold any longer. D-Cop, big kill onto Dimsum there.
Yeah, and if D-Cop had rotated, it would have been a different story, but that position is so strong.
Yep.
Tig stuck in 2, but crossfired a bit, but D-Cop really overplays his hand there at long, and instead Anders steps forward, finds 2 crisp Vandal headshots, and now it's a 4-on-3 where there was once no daylight at B. Orbital Strike online, Hunter's Fury online, and there is really a tough ask for a retake here on the table for Beast Coast.
It really is. They go from really no daylight at all.
Player standing.
Ugh. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Things were going so right, Doug.
Yep.
And then they weren't.
Round in the half.
Yeah, they went from having no daylight at all to opening up the skies, right? Like, they had everything there. DHBK looking at pushing an 8-4 on the attacking side on bind at half. That's a pretty scoreline.
Oh, yeah. And they've had pretty scorelines all night. But it wasn't quite this pretty on Icebox. A 1-round difference there,
Yeah.
Still was good. Still was a great half. He's taking the duel towards Showers, but Kohler gets the better of him.
Bro.
Oh, destroyed.
Filthy. Harmon using the Hunter's Fury. Yep.
Did he just
B-Dog,
miss
no
or
sir.
what?
Not
Somehow
an
he got
option.
no tags in hookah. I wonder what happened there. What catches jammies with this judge.
No
So
target lock.
powerful from that elevated position. Tough clear for Ange without any utility. And Anders looking for some space over here at short. Got an orbital strike. Got some smokes. Let's create some space of our own. Here he goes.
B-Dog,
First
B-Dog
ball.
good for one. Harmon trades it out.
Enemy remaining.
Tig with the Hunter Siri, far more successful
I have reached
than Harmon was. But Kohler cleans it up. Beast Coast get it to 7-5 at half. This ain't over, right? This can easily still go either way.
Absolutely. But what a response from Beast Coast in the first place. I mean, those two previous rounds, you know, they found themselves at an advantage. They were looking good. DHBK, as they've done so many times throughout this entire series, drawing things back in their favor. And here's this 1v3 pistol that started it all out. The betrayal of the Bucky onto Big D Cop. Screwface's response.
Enemy remaining.
And I think, you know, Doug, we might disagree on this, but I just think for an attack side of mind, I mean,
You don't love it.
DH, I don't
Feeling area.
love this situation that Beast Coast is in.
Yeah,
I don't feel as though there's a ton of momentum here. There's not, you know, incredible stuff or wind in their sails or whatever that you can draw on. You wonder whether or not this pistol's going to have even bigger ramifications than normal on this series.
Cool.
That'll start it.
Anderson, yeah, Anderson going in a little bit aggressive, trying to get spicy. B-Dog sniffs it out, takes him out. Dimsa trades it out as he gets one. And he pushes another member back. U-Haul has been lost for DHBK, but they don't seem to care so far as Dimson gets another one onto D-Cop. Running for the fences, staying alive. The damage has been done. Numbers advantage for DHBK, but B-Dog again on that lurk. He's been a problem the entire time. And he gets another one onto Screwface. Harmon has to go aggressive, tries to challenge him, pushes him back. DHBK still with the numbers advantage.
One
And
enemy remaining.
across the middle, it's Harmon who gets it. B-Dog, however, keeping it spicy. He's got one. 3 on the round for him here, and
30
DHBK
seconds left.
has Dimsum is very weak. He doesn't have the spike. Now he does. Wonder if he's going to try to get out. No, very good crossfire setup. Ange locked it down. DHBK take the pistol.
And they've been winning pistols all night, it seems. And I mean, even there, Beast Coast finding themselves in an early advantage. Anderson overplaying his hand just a bit, getting caught out from the short position of B-Dog. And B-Dog was having a terrific map 1 at 14-8, leading the team and the server.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, things started out fantastic, and some heroic play maybe from Harmon just to stay alive in front of Showers. I think he got 3 on the round, but ultimately just buying time for that rotation to come in. The flank from Ange really just stole it away, I think, from Beast Coast. Here's the Bucky, Doug.
See if it betrays yet again. The paranoia is there. The nades push him back. Somehow he doesn't take any damage. There's no betrayal there as he's already gotten 2. Anderson gets one as well.
enemy remaining.
Beast Coast get ripped to shreds.
There's Betrayer Bucky, and then there's Brother Bucky, and right there,
That was Brother Bucky.
Screwface was one with the buck, and wow, that was, I mean, just getting paranoid isn't really enough to scare away defenders from hookah. Like, yeah, you can certainly, if you know, updraft in as Jammies did, you may be able to avoid that to some degree, but yelling pull somewhere from afar, Screwface answers in kind with 2 quick shotgun blasts to the sky and finds, you know, 2 kills that in any other circumstance with any other weapon probably don't go his way. And I hate to even bring it up.
Scanning
The
ahead.
Jammies, who's been the hero of Beast Coast through the first 2 maps, and even in the beginning of this game,
Yep.
I think not just the defuse, there was 2 rounds where he just came up huge. Beast Coast round wins. It's been silenced throughout most of the defensive side half.
Scanning ahead.
Now it's 9-5. Pistol doesn't go your way. What we talked about, you know, as being a great half for DHBK turns into, okay, now you got pistol, and then and an anti-eco under your belts, you're in the bonus. I got to imagine, Doug, that if you lose this here for Beast Coast, this has got to be curtains, right?
It's pretty dang close, bro. Pretty dang close. DHBK comfortable giving up long, comfortable giving up garden, but they're still going to post up a couple of members in hookah. Jamie's manages to dash in. They know that there are a couple players in hookah. You hear the teleports coming through. Ange is there for the block. As the spike, I wouldn't be surprised to see him flip the map here.
30 seconds left.
Note that I said I wouldn't be surprised. I wasn't saying it's exactly what they were going to do. They get the spike down onto B. DHBK still has the numbers advantage. D-Cop, again, we talked about how good he can be here. See if he can connect on anything. As the map is split, seldom see things play out like this. Up close and personal, Ange gets the gunfight win. Beast Coast down to 2 members left. DHBK drop down. Now it's actually Beast Coast, who we've, my gosh, we've seen so many times. Ooh. Beast Coast in a good spot. DHBK snatches it right out of under their feet. But now it's Beast Coast, right, who was able to take that round away when it seemed like they probably shouldn't have.
Oh my goodness. B-Dog coming up huge. D-Cop with some aid there on the right side of his... Oh my god. There were so many opportunities, I feel like, for Beast Coast to win that kind of cleanly, you know? And as you said, man, just ripping it away as DHBK. And thankfully, the Beast Coast fans at home, B-Dog coming up big for his boys once more, and now it's 9-6, a very respectable scoreline considering, you know, how often we've been spilling this narrative of HBK playing perhaps, I don't want to say superior, but definitely overall a very classy Valorant play coming out from them. As I say that, there's a lot of buggy frags that they've gotten, and judge kills. So maybe not classy, but something.
It's like the opposite.
They're in hookah early, not going to quite get the job done despite all the utility just chucked in there. So this timid B fake, or at least feint towards map control from Beast Coast, will not bring about a rotation. 3 players from DHBK are on the A side. As I say that, though, there's 1 player that is rotating out, so that maybe it has worked after all.
He's gone. A looks juicy here. They have showers control. They have short control, and Anderson's dead. They're looking for more. Kohler gets onto Dimsum. And that should be relatively easy sailing the rest of the way. Of course, as I say that, Screwface is going to make me eat my words. He gets one with the judge.
Spike planted.
Narrowly missing at Paranoia. And again, U-Haul hasn't been cleared. Screwface is still there. Meanwhile, members of DHBK are continuing to rotate over. The thing is, Beast Coast, with having control, have a good spot at something here. Harmon gets one. And again, like, Screwface has been spotted. They know where he is, but the clock continues to tick away. DHBK are going to have to bust the move here, try to get onto this defusal. Ange gets onto one. It's just a 1v1 here. Ange comes up big with 3, and he's going to get the defuse, looking to put Beast Coast away.
Oh, man. East Coast is teasing us here. 2 fantastic entries. Kohler out of showers, just ripping the head off of one. The other goes the way of his teammate. Things are looking good. B-Dog chimes in. And yet here we are at 10-6. Several powerful ultimates for both teams are online, but Beast Coast just back into the shadow realm of a financial despot. And you gotta think that this Spectre, you know, Sheriff, Bucky, whatever they're investing into this round with the Blade Storm to back it up,
Right here.
it's gotta pay off somehow, some way, because you lose this here, Doug, 11-6. It's looking really rough. Fast speed play.
Yep, fast speed play. The Paranoia was there. Jamie's dashed in. Tig cleared out elbow. They didn't follow onto the site, right? Like, they didn't follow up, and Screwface is there like an anchor. He just holds fast. He's already gotten 3. Beast Coast just down to 1. At least at this point. Oh no, that sucks. that sucks.
That would have been a sick ace for the Twitter, but yeah, maybe we tailwinded into the boom bot. These things happen. Super nice shots, though, man. Impressive stuff all series long from Screwface. Now it's just Decop, Bucky in hand. Ange shoots him down from the sky, 11-6. There's not much that I can say here other than East Coast needs to somehow avoid all the powerful ultimates that are on the table here for DHBK, and despite not a great financial situation or outlook, you've got to find a hole somewhere. You've got to find a weakness. Perhaps the weakness was just a boom bot, well timed in the right place.
That's so unlucky. That just sucks. All right, Beast Coast, relatively mixed buy, right? You got a Bulldog, you have one player on light armor, but what you don't have much of at this point if you're Beast Coast is time, right? Ange getting the opening pick onto Decop as well certainly doesn't feel good. DHBK with 4 ultimates, notable ones as well, in their pockets. Screwface, a rare miss, but you don't miss twice if your name is Screwface. It's a big pick onto Jammies. DHBK continuing to push the matter with a huge numbers advantage.
Yeah, this is all but looking like doomsday for Beast Coast, and in a hard-fought series thus far, but time for, I think, someone to just let it all go like it was on Icebox. Jammies came up with that 4K 1v5 clutch. Teamwork-wise, no executes that they've... Maybe Kohler's the first to start. There's a crisp headshot onto Ange. As I say that, Harmon taking a ton of damage in return, but is able to clean up the frag. Orbital strike gets popped. 2 players are close on this.
Oh, boy.
Anders gets the better of them. Unfortunate for Beast Coast, but a few opportunities maybe to make that a reality, that fantasy that I'm trying to put in your minds of a Beast Coast comeback and making the game, in any way possible. Extent, you mentioned at the very beginning of the series, barring something crazy and unforeseen, this is the final map. The decider, the winner of this series, goes on to the closed qualifier. This is for all the marbles, Doug, and it really seems as though DHBK is in possession of them all. They are spreading in this default once more. Beast Coast is, that is, and early on, maybe some shower control from Kohler and several players stacked up here towards short, leading towards the possibility of a fast A play. Any moment now is come in.
Oh, bro, that feels horrible. Jamie tries to dash in, and Screwface greets him with an op. He gets the second one as well. Screwface looking for the third, gets 4, looking to make a statement. He drops DHBK down to 2 members left. Tig is alone. Tig with 20 health. He's got the spike. He's got tournament life. He's got Masters hopes on the lines, on his shoulders, as he tries to will Beast Coast into another round. But it's a tough ask. Tig checking any corner he possibly can. And DHBK wisely just like waiting it out, right? They don't have to challenge. They don't need to take any aggressive gunfights. You certainly don't want to isolate yourself here. You want to set up for crossfire, ensure there are no crazy shenanigans that take place. Oh, but Tig goes for the judge. Oh, surely if he pulls this off, it's going to be an absolutely filthy fashion. You hear the tap? Tig slowly creeping his way forward. There's the tap yet again. He goes up top, he jumps. Surely they've heard him at this point. As they continue to push forward. Good shock dart there. 2 health. No way. No way. He gets one onto Dim Sum. Dart's there. It's cleared out. Oh, the shock dart! The shock dart! The shock dart! Harmon does it, ladies and gentlemen. The Cinderella story continues as DHBK best Beast Coast 2-1 and advance to the close qualifiers.
Wow. The week-old team, DHBK, the newly formed roster.